I take it you were talking about your dragony magic.
Yeah, I was asking Tolly if any of it would encroach on his weather stuff.
That's fair. I mean, even if, I mean, the weather stuff Twig is looking at has some lightning in it. Like it can be very differently themed lightning.
Oh yeah, that's why.
So I don't really envision it being a problem as long as Tolly's okay with it.
I was thinking more along the lines of summoning a shitstorm of epic proportions that made people a bit wet and lightninged.
I could imagine Twig and going to each other. Are you all right with this? That I do lightning spells.
Just mid-fight.
Yeah.
Is this okay?
I don't want to encroach on you.
Do you have a pattern on this kind of magic? I'll back off if you do. So,
What insurance?
really, the two things we could do, we could either just leave it as it is, and maybe your thunderstorm just does something different to mine,
Yeah, I think.
or we can leave it, just have basically the same spell, or I can try and come up with something else.
It would
be different
definitely be
colours.
fairly different.
Yeah.
I imagine the sort of thing we're talking about, I think, is more like, or some dragony stuff with some storm stuff, and that's more kind of like raw power. Whereas I feel like what you were talking about for Twig was more kind of like weather manipulation.
Yeah.
So I think Twigs would be a little more subtle, and Crosix would be a little more like brute force. I blew that thing up with a lightning bolt.
Twig makes the sun smile.
Because the thunderstorm one does last rounds equal to my willpower. So that's sort of what you were talking about. But it'd almost make more sense for yours to be one where it just kind of goes bang and suddenly there's thunder everywhere. I don't know.
There's
But
also,
like I said, I could come up with something else.
No, I don't think you should be forced to come up with something else because you got there first and it's totally
Yeah,
shit.
definitely.
But it can be themed suitably differently, and also it's not the end of the world if you both have some overlap on one spell. I've played D&D where there were two sorcerers with the same favored spell type, and we still got along just fine. So. Anyway,
Yeah, it just means double the fun.
Are we all here?
I think so.
I'm not. I'm lost.
I know I've got a canyon tickle. Have we our Finnish residents?
Yes.
Yeah, well, maybe not a shack or a quiet shack, but may as well get started with stuff because we're already a little behind when I want to get going. So, right, just to quickly review where we were last time. Actually, I'll just stick us back in the map you were, even though we were about to leave it. But just to review, you guys have been dealing with all this hobgoblin stuff. Yeah, so to just basically review from last time, you guys followed some wagon trails into the large canyon area called the 100 Hoodoos, where you found a bunch of hobgoblins led by Cyrus Gill, who had decided to make their own expedition to get their own resources, but to sort of give them better bargaining power with the ATC. But you found them defending themselves against a raid by Dustback trolls, who were sort of desperately trying to migrate east, and the goblins were in the way. And you managed to resolve that situation with only a minimum of bloodshed. I think only one troll died in the end. Granny died, but Garrick revived her by shooting her in the face, as he does now. And so the surviving hobgoblins decided they were going to continue their mission, but they were going to head north. And the Blue, or Cliff Jumper, or whatever you want to call him, he agreed that he was going to get his people, and they were going to migrate east, but give a few days for the hobgoblins to move. And also during this fight of note was that Krosek sort of tapped into the lingering powers of this uncovered dragon skeleton, which temporarily enhances lightning powers and caused a brief magical storm, and may have had some other weird effects as well. You never know. But that was more or less where you guys were. You had resolved this situation and you were going to leave. You spent the night with in this camp, making sure the hobgoblins and trolls got along, and you all got rested and nicely fill up on your health and your magic points and all those things that matter so much to you. So yeah, is there anything you wanted to do with these guys before you continued on your way and they went off on their way?
I don't have anything.
No, I don't think I've got anything.
Fair enough. Okay, so we already kind of did your goodbyes with these guys. So Moxie had decided she was going to stay with the hobgoblins, and she gives all you guys like an extra like goodbye hug each before she jumps on the last hobgoblin wagon, kind of heading out. And yeah, so the hobgoblins make their way out the 100 hoodoos, and a good number of them are alive. So you've done well on that. And then you guys have to decide where you're heading next and what you want to do. So I'll stick you back in the map.
I just want to say Black Wolf doesn't get the hug. She declines. She doesn't like hugs.
Fair enough. You don't get a hug. Moxie doesn't really know Black Wolf anyway, so that's probably not too.
Twig can have the extra hug.
I can just imagine Twig going like, "I'll take it."
All right, I'll do that. Every time someone tries to hug Black Wolf, I'll say Twig gets it.
I love how that's kind of like brooding and standoffish, but also kind of cute. But yes, in terms of the map, that little red mark there, kind of on the 100 hoodoo, shows where you guys currently are. In terms of your beloved caravan, you know that it was sort of heading down this kind of a route, and you know that the trolls going to be heading kind of this direction at some point in the next few days. And I think that's everyone you know. You kill some people over at Cloud Mesa, but that's quite clearly marked on the map, so I don't feel I need to draw that.
Yeah.
And Crows has lost his awareness of the Clicknid Hive Queen, so he doesn't have that direction sense anymore.
She's somewhere over there.
Just a wide gesturing arm at the horizon.
Just almost 360 degrees.
Somewhere in that direction. Should we like try to reconvene with the caravan and like let them know what's gone down?
Do we
Yeah, I guess.
backtrack and follow the tracks, or do we just try and guess where they are?
I think we know where they're going, right?
If we split
Ish.
up, we can cover more ground.
We're not splitting up.
Just like all 6 of you go in different directions.
That sounds like a great idea.
Scooby-Doo style, search for clues. I don't know. I reckon it'd be probably easier just to follow the tracks because I think we move a little bit faster than them anyway, so we'd catch them relatively easily.
How long have we been?
Yeah.
It's been a day, right, or so?
Yeah, no, but
It's been a few days. You
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you spent a day dealing with that whole blood tracker cultist mess, and then took you like a few days to get from there. It took a couple of days for you to get to where you are now. So it's been at least 3 days, and then you spent the night. So this is like the 4th day since you split up.
I think we definitely need to catch up with them. Just in case something, knowing this area, something probably has gone wrong.
do we take the safe way to catch up with them, or do we risk it because we could overshoot?
Well, Twig can always fly up and keep
Yeah.
an eye out.
Scout out.
Did they say there was a... Sorry, Wolfie, did you say there was a fast way to catch up with them?
That's up to you guys.
Well, I'm
you,
saying
you
it's...
can retrack your way and find their tracks, certainly, but you could certainly try to, just go across open ground and find them. So you have a rough idea of their route, but that would require some, skilled map reading, possibly some intelligent interpretation of the terrain.
what's terrain like? Is it flat or is it?
It's well, obviously at the moment you're in the Hoodoo's Valley, but once you get out of that, the land's fairly flat, kind of like wide rolling landscape. Like maybe there's the occasional hill and area, but they're quite they're not very big hills. So mostly it's sort of wide open plains land, kind of lots of kind of dry yellow grass and like dried up riverbeds, and pretty much like the landscape in your average Western movie, to be honest.
Let's just get out of this place and then see what we can see.
I mean, we've got trackers, we've got people that can fly. I can always try and do some spirit voodoo shit, see if I can trace their souls or whatever. I think we can find them. I think catching up with them is the important part.
Okay, so we'll try to just like go across the land and see them.
Off-road it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The direct route. Let's go.
Okay,
Do you
so
know
yes,
that, Wolfie?
Sorry,
Do you know
go.
the scent of death that I have because of that scabbard?
Yes.
What is the range on it? I just thought I'd ask.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I was thinking more in terms of the local area, like on a combat map. I wasn't thinking like you can use it to sense death across like half a continent away.
I know, but it doesn't say. Give
Sorry,
me a range.
I will. I should have specified. Yeah, I think maybe within a mile is a reasonable limitation.
Alright. I was just wondering because I was going to see if I could sense if the people were in danger.
Nah, fair enough. No, yeah, we'll say it's a mile for now.
That purple line is a rough.
That your proposed route.
arrow. Yeah.
Fair enough. That seems a sensible thing to do. Right, if you're going to try and navigate across country, I would like a nominated navigator / map reader to make an intelligence navigation test to try and find your way across terrain that you haven't explored before.
What did you say that was? Sorry, I
Intelligence.
completely blank there.
I've got 4 intelligence.
Navigation intelligence. So our smartest person. Good if they could use a map.
See if it's gonna
Krusek
bring you-
licks the map.
I've got 3, but I can also fly up, which might.
I'd give you a +2 for the fact you can fly up and scout.
Can I do spirit tracking?
What would that even be?
I'm familiar with the spirits of the people that I'm around a lot, right?
True. Yeah.
So could I sense the...
If you were willing to spend, a certain amount of time meditating, going off into the spirit world, and trying to locate them, then
I'll
yeah,
let
sure, you
these
can
guys try their fancy
that
maps
way.
first.
You can,
can
but it
also-
involves sitting down for a few hours. So
Yeah,
it
I'll-
depends
Well,
how
if-
patient you're feeling.
Not very.
If it takes 3 hours, but it might be quicker in the long run.
Can't we just load them on the back of the and then
GPS lizard.
just stick them in the back of that, while Twig goes up and looks around?
You could stick him in Dexis's hole in the storm chaser.
Go for it.
Well, I was just thinking a bit of rope and just tie him on.
Just right on the front, like a Mad Max style.
Just holds his arm out in the direction we gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, like if he sits on the back of the storm chaser, and we start driving in that sort of southwesterly direction, while he sort of like starts using his spirit jazz.
Sure. Spirit jazz.
So we'll make
Clicking
you we'll
fingers.
make you the navigator then.
Well, we want you to use the map to make sure we do go in a southeastern direction.
Southwest.
Southeast.
Southeast.
No, it was southeast. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm bad at maps.
Oh, God.
That's any real life though.
So you use the map to make sure we go in the right direction roughly to begin with, and then
Shit.
hopefully Raj can
How do I rub out things
I
drawn
can-
on the map?
Just select it
Select
with
them.
the select tool.
Done it for you.
Okay. Right, so you want me to be the navigator then? And we'll just try to get...
Yeah, because I think with your +2 bonus, even though you've got lower intelligence, you have a higher.
It's actually 1 up, yeah.
Yeah, because mine's 4. I think Raj said that yours was 4.
Yeah.
What's yours, Theo? Or what's Theo, should I say?
Hmm.
Possibly an AFK6.
Under to Theo.
With your intelligence. I got 3.
So yeah, I think it's like to be me then.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
Settle down.
If we are looking for the other caravan, we can also just go east and until we find the tracks and just track them.
Well, we were
That
worried
is
that would
also
take
an
too
option.
long.
True that.
Well, if we can't find them, we can just retrace our steps and end up wasting a load of time. But I think if that fails, my spirit tracking should help
Spirit
somehow.
Jazz GPS.
Well, if we go southeast and we hit the canyon before we find the caravan or its tracks, then we just need to go north.
Unless they've been eaten.
Yeah, true.
We'll find either them or their tracks eventually.
We'll find their spirits. Whether or not they're still in their body, that's a different matter. But
Right, so shall I...
There's a lot of negativity going around in this hypothetical situation.
let's do it.
Okay, so essentially what I think I'm hearing you guys saying is that you're mounting up, getting on your various horses, wolves, and Storm Chaser 3000s, and riding out of the 100 hoodoos, and Twig is going to help you guys find your way by kind of flying up high and finding the southeasterly route that you guys are shooting for.
Yep, that's about the size of it.
Well, I think I was going to make this a hard test, but I think you guys essentially just want to go southeast is fairly easy, so I'm going to bump it down to a challenging. So if you can roll me a 13, Tolly, and you get a +2 for your flank. Yeah, you can. Okay, fine. That's no problem. You guys basically head out into the sort of these wide open, dry rolling plains, and Twig sort of flies up every half hour or so, kind of like gets the lay of the land, and yeah, basically helps you guys begin to find your way. The terrain's not too bad, so you guys make fairly good pace. You've been traveling for maybe half a day, like it's getting to lunchtime-ish, and Twig flies up, you know, once more, just to do a kind of like a general scan of the horizon, and when she sort of like gets up there to have a look around, she notices that from behind you guys, essentially the direction you've come, over the 100 Hoodoos Valley, there is a sort of a great kind of almost like dirty fog, like kind of like yellowy black kind of clouds kind of like forming, like the beginning of a storm. And it appears to be getting larger.
Coming from the hoodoos.
Yes. And
There's
essentially
any
traveling
way,
towards
however-
you guys.
How wide does it look like? Is it the width of like an average cloud, or is it like sort of as far as the horizon goes?
It's taking up the majority of the horizon when you look back the way you've come.
Christ. Okay. And it looks more like clouds, less like smoke.
Yeah, it's not. It's you know, like yellowy, dusty coloured. You know the dusty colour of the soil on this map. It's that colour of cloud. Like
Sounds
a
like
Oh.
a dust storm.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And as you watch, it's just kind of getting bigger and bigger.
Right. So I fly
Well, that's
back
really-
down, and I notify everyone. I say, "Oh my god, it looks to be a dust storm." we should probably try and find some shelter.
Good point.
I see Krosek, what did you do?
At this point, Twig should go back up and look for shelter.
Oh yeah, that's the point. Yeah, so I'll fly back up and search for shelter.
Am I meditating at this point, or am I just sitting in the back of the...
I don't know, did you start your
No, I
meditation GPS plan?
No, I probably didn't. If we just did... If Tolly knew where we were going, I think I've just been chilling.
Fair enough.
Can I see if I can sense anything?
Yeah, you can sense that there is like a kind of a magical charge, like a magical radiation kind of in the air, and coming from that direction behind you. It does
Similar to Weirdo?
No, it's well, I'm gonna message Krosek something. Just PM on Discord.
So it's Nerubian of nature.
Either way, we should find a nice hole to hide in.
Let's start digging.
Let's make a sand igloo.
Yeah, so should
All fine ideas.
should I look for shelter? I'll search.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just let me type this out real quick.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot about the thing.
Actually, while you're searching, you can make another a perception seeing test, I suppose. And again, you can have +2 for your height of flying up very high. It's going to be a challenging check to find some suitable shelter. Cool. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, so Twig flies up and starts looking around in a bit of a panic. Kind of like consider sort of looking back towards the hoodoos, because you passed like some various rock pillars and stuff on your way out of there, but they're already being consumed by this encroaching cloud. You also can see like maybe a dried up riverbed about half a mile ahead of you guys. Maybe that might have some possibility if you rigged up some shelter inside it. But you can also see what definitely looks like a small little network of caves, but it's a good 2.5 miles, and it's kind of off to the west of where you are. So that would probably be your best shelter, but it's further away. The nearest thing is that dried up riverbed, but that's obviously not exactly ideal shelter.
Okay. I think the caves are better. What about everyone else?
I think the caves, because we don't know how long the storm will last for.
Yeah, those natural weather storms look really bad on up here on Umber. We should get out of the way.
Plus, we ride fairly fast, so 2.5 miles isn't going to take us too long.
Riders of the storm.
So, caves? Caves?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
Let's go.
You guys start making west in the direction that Twig saw these caves, and you start going as fast as you can across the terrain, but you can now all see this very large, dusty clouds that are just filling up the horizon and getting closer and closer to you. You travel like full pelt for about half an hour, and then you can finally see these caves up ahead. By this point, the storm is almost upon you. There's very high winds around you, and the wind is just full of sand and grit and dirt. And as you sort of look to the north where this thing's coming from, you can see within these giant banks of clouds, you can see like high-speed swirling winds, like sort of little baby tornadoes starting to form. The sand and the dirt starts to kind of pelt against your clothes and your armor, and it starts to sting your skin where it's exposed. I'm gonna oh, there we go. You will take 5 points of damage that can be mitigated by your armor, obviously.
It can.
Yeah, it can.
But like, Dart takes 1 point of damage.
This is a nice bath.
Down to 57.
Oh no.
Dart's tough hobgoblin skill has now been wonderfully exfoliated.
I took 2 whole points of damage. So I like, ruffled a few of my feathers.
Okay, but just as the storm is really starting to pick up, you make it to the caves. By that point, you could sort of only just see a few feet in front of your faces, and the wind was like beginning to howl so loud you couldn't hear each other speaking. But you do just manage to get to these caves sort of in time and make your way inside. They are literally just... Cave is almost too generous a description. They are essentially like just some hollowed out... well, they are hollows in the sides of a rocky piece of ground. Like it's the cave is probably the size of just like an average room in a house. It's not that big, but at least the entrance to the cave is kind of like facing downwards, so it's you got to clamber up into it. So it does provide you reasonable shelter from the storm, but it's pretty cramped once kind of all 6 of you plus Dexis and Spret have crammed in there.
It's something.
What about the horses?
Okay, it gets really cramped as you guys also have to, with some difficulty, lead these horses into this very narrow space and keep them calm.
Do I still have my pot? I can't remember
Pass
if
around.
Yeah.
No, not
Sorry.
my cast iron pot. I want to
Yeah.
make a little shelter for Twig.
An extra shelter.
You just want to put her in a pot, don't you?
Say, Twig's got like that iron shelter.
Well,
Look at the
I
outside.
trust Chris not to throw me into a river and murder me like the puck, so I will get in the pot.
Good. There you go. Good.
How we can cook her.
Crossex starts building a fire. I'm joking. Face
So-
to you.
Okay, so it's very cramped in this little cave. You get the horses in and just about manage to keep them calm. You I guess you maybe park the storm chaser kind of like in the entrance to the cave and like I don't know, maybe just
Try to
throw-
use it to block out the.
Yeah. Park it
The
there and
worst
throw a
bit.
blanket over it and yeah, you're sort of trapped in this cave now. The storm outside reaches like epically loud proportions and the sounds kind of echo through the cavern, but you are safe and you're not taking any more damage from the storm.
I get out my weapon and say, every time we've been in a cave, we've been attacked. I'm just getting out in case.
Okay.
That's
no
fairly
space for
pragmatic,
anything.
actually.
Okay.
Don't blame me for that one.
I do want to check the back of the cave to see if there are any like holes and stuff.
Holes.
Holes, cracks, anything that could cause something to sneak through, even if it's just a snake.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to make a perception searching check for me? Cool. A challenging check.
Nah.
Yeah, you kind of have a bit of a feel around, but yeah, it's not very dark. It's pretty dark. The only light is that. Wait, did Krosik really make a fire?
Yeah, I made a fire.
Okay, so you've got some flickering firelight, but there's not much to see by. You're just kind of feeling around the back. Maybe you just stick your hand into this one little crevice in the rock, and something stings you. And Dart pulls his hand back out, and there's this tiny little black scorpion that's just got his pincers like dug into one of his fingers. So you can take 1 more point of damage, penetrating damage
Ooh.
for
Penetrating.
the scorpion pincing your little finger. But otherwise, you don't find anything.
Twig
What's
starts
that?
to sing songs to raise morale. Because this is pretty horrible. So
Can I just lower the pot over Twig?
you just hear her like playing inside, like
Okay, Twig finds that the acoustic inside the pot are actually amazing. Continues to jam for several hours.
Is that how long we're in there for?
Black Wolf goes to sleep because this is nothing.
Okay, fair enough. In fact, it's fair to say that eventually you guys all kind of bed down because the storm lasts for 2 whole days and nights.
God.
Eventually, on the beginning of the 3rd day, when you guys are irritable and sick of being cooped up with each other and sweaty and hot and haven't slept well, and everyone stinks because no one's been able to wash. Finally, on the morning of that 3rd day, the storm seems to have cleared up, and once you sort of peek out around the storm chaser and look out the sort of the mouth of the cave, you can see that the clouds are sort of blowing away, and you can see the land again, and the nice blue sky, and everything looks lovely outside, actually. And there's a nice fresh wind.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Finally.
I'm just going to run out the cave.
Yeah, me too. Same.
Okay, you all come running out the cave, and it feels great. You can see for miles. The horizon stretches out almost forever, and it's just lovely. And aren't you glad to be out in the air and not stuck up in that tiny cave with those jerks who have been getting on your nerves for the last day and a half?
Toy, the tent is everywhere. One more day in there, I would have started shooting.
Now, to get the bad news out of the way, that's probably screwed over any kind of tracking we want to do.
Yeah.
Good chance it's
I
also
think-
screwed over the caravan, actually.
Yeah, if they didn't find shelter, it's not
Well,
good
with
for
all
them.
those people, could they find shelter?
It's a good question. You should ask them when you find them.
It's starting to sound like if we find them.
Well, now that the storm's over, what would you like to do?
Well, we know about where they're headed, so
Send
I
it
guess
on.
we just head the same
Oh.
way and we can scout. Yeah.
Yeah, use Twig and the map to find where we should be going now.
Sure. I think Tolly might have gone AFK briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. One of the rest of you is perfectly welcome to have a go at navigating. For all I know, Twig's maybe still in the pot. Krosik might
Well,
not
we
let
can-
her out.
We can resume our previous course.
I think Krosek's next up to do the map work. As technically smartest person here somehow.
It's pushing it.
No, it's. I think Black Wolf's got the same intelligence.
Yeah, but I've got experience.
Yeah, but
Older
Black
and
Wolf is
wiser.
like sane.
She's obsessed with death magic.
It's. She's not obsessed with. I'm not obsessed with death magic. It's just that all I can do is death magic. There's a difference.
You could work together to try and find the best route.
Friendship. I'll have a look at the map.
Okay, fair enough.
And do I have any concepts of like mathematics and how fast the caravan was traveling on average?
I don't know. What sort of math skills do you think Krosik has?
I mean, I have a degree in real life.
Why don't we just try and
I
go
don't think
east?
we allow real life stats to come into
it's-
the game, I'm afraid.
I've got intelligence. Like all my shit is to do with law. I imagine I'm fairly savvy when it comes to.
Yeah.
It's probably not my strongest suit.
I'm sure Krosik has a basic idea of mathematics. And
Yeah, he was like the village
things.
doctor and things. He can
He
measure
can have
I'm
stuff.
back.
1+1. 1+1 he can do.
So what's gone on?
Which I'm trying to do the map. Yeah, okay. I'll see if I can kind of if I know where we were when we left them, and know how long they've been traveling for and how long we've been traveling for. Taking into the account they probably had to stop for the storm. I'll kind of try and work out where I think they'd be.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how would I roll that?
Intelligence with a navigation focus, if you happen to have one.
I do not. 15.
Yeah, okay, that'll do. So, based on how fast you guys were traveling in the direction, you think I'm gonna move the little oh, hang on, no, I'm not gonna redraw the little red cross. So you think you guys are probably around here. And I mean, surely by this point, given there's been a few extra days, but then they probably did stop for the storm as well, like, it's not unreasonable to think that you're still on roughly the right course with your southeast, and they're probably somewhere around there. At the speed you guys go, you could probably get there in a day or two. I'm sure it wouldn't be too much trouble.
You're talking in a very weird way, Wolfie. What's going on?
No, I'm just implying that you don't know for certain, but you're calculating,
okay.
like, okay, reasonably. Like, if there hadn't been the storm, for example, they could easily have got even further, but you know, you think that's unlikely.
Hmm.
So let's go then.
Although you are assuming that they stopped for the storm. So you
Oh,
can't
when
be
you
sure.
assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, except as a GM, I'm just kind of a non-corporeal entity, so you're just the ass.
I'm the ass. Fuck. Okay, yeah. Let's go that way. As we're traveling this time, I'd like to do my spirit tracking shenanigans.
Okay, yeah, certainly. Um. Okay, so you go into I mean, how are you going to, or where are you going to do your shenanigans? Are you doing them before you travel? Are they
In
later
the
in
back of the storm chaser.
Okay. Everyone
Got
else
some
good
pillows and things.
to set off? No, any other
Yeah.
tasks?
Also, when he's doing that, the second he's setting up that, I go to him, why didn't you do that while we were trapped in the cave?
Interference from the very natural storm. It's 100% natural storm, no magic involved.
I feel like Krosek should get negatives on all these bluffs.
Yeah, can he thingy bluff that? Roll for a bluff.
Yeah,
Oh,
go on, roll for a
wouldn't you
bluff.
believe me?
Communication deception, please.
Yeah, 13.
What's it rolled against?
I guess it would be rolled against a stat that you guys have. I guess your perception. So anyone's welcome to roll perception.
No,
to
you should
see
take
if
their
it-
average perception.
I've got 3.
Don't use Twig. I feel like Twig would trust Krosek. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, Blackwolf thinks Krosik's acting a little oddly, but Krosek normally acts quite oddly.
That's normal for
shrugs
me.
it off.
Twig trusts that he's telling the truth and doesn't roll.
I made you a little pot, Twig. You should trust me.
Okay, so you guys, yeah, head off again. Get on your horses, get on your wolf, get in the storm chaser, and you head off. Krosik is going to start doing his meditation stuff in the back of the storm chaser, but that takes a few hours. In the meantime, after you guys have only been traveling for maybe an hour, Blackwall starts to get an odd feeling, and she kind of basically has a sense that something has died in the area. Like her sort of innate sense for the dead is kind of like flashing up kind of like a warning beacon, like something died here very recently, kind of like just over the next ridge.
Do I tell them that, or
No, that's what you're sensing. It's up to you if you want to do anything about it.
I'll say that I sense something dead across the ridge. We should be careful, just in case if there are anything scavenging.
Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Okay, so you guys kind of slow down a little bit to be careful, like Black Wolf says, and then you kind of veer off to the left, sort of in the direction that she's pointing. And you head over this ridge, and kind of in the middle of this sort of like wide open plain, there's just this kind of like little black spot kind of in the distance. And it was in the direction Black Wolf was pointing, so you head towards it, and after a few minutes riding, you get to it. And it's a halfling, dead on the ground. He looks... it's quite disgusting, really, what he looks like at the moment. It looks like a lot of his skin and even bits of his flesh have just kind of like been torn off by thousands of little cuts.
But
And
who's
his
this?
clothes are completely shredded.
So he got caught in the storm then.
He also has kind of like a stick, like kind of like, you know, what you'd use for hiking, and like a backpack, which is also kind of half shredded, but basically intact.
I'll search the backpack.
If there's any identification.
Well, I was
Check for
thinking more for
ID.
cool stuff that we can take, but
No, check for ID. Come on.
I can do that too.
Okay, so Twig goes inside, literally goes inside, because it's a big backpack and Twig is small. And the very first thing she finds is an identification badge.
That was lucky.
It is a sort of a steel like badge, like that you'd pin on a jacket, and it's in the shape of a shield and has a big letter R stamped on it.
Reinhardt, no one important died.
What happened to
Reinhold.
the halfling? The dead.
Are there? Is there any sign of anything else nearby? Because it's a bit curious. You got a lone halfling out in the middle of what seems to be nowhere.
Is it a ranger patch?
Make a perception test for me. Also, sorry, just while Kenny's doing his test, Twig, you also find in the backpack a book, like a leather-bound journal, and you find quite a few rations, like kind of like lots of dried jerky and biscuits and a water skin, like enough rations to last for easily a couple of weeks.
Okay, so we'll take the rations.
Dart can see no sign of anything, but of course the dust storm pretty much has scoured the whole land, and everything's just kind of like covered in this nice layer of nice new dust. It's just grass
Yay.
and dust as far as the eye can see.
I'm gonna start reading the journal.
Okay, so it's a pretty big journal. Twig hauls it out of the bag and like puts it down on the ground and opens it up, and it's in some kind of weird gobbledygook. Like, these aren't even letters. What is this? This is some sort of weird, like, made up language or some nonsense? What is this?
If Twig is an engineer, surely she writes a lot of her stuff in coded things so people don't steal it. Could you try and decode it?
Twig can read, right?
It might not necessarily be a code. It might be like halfling language. It
Could
might
be a language, yeah.
I mean, like, can I use just a generic intelligence test to try and tell what it is?
Yes, you can.
Oh, actually, no. Has someone got cultural law?
It's funny you should say that.
I was gonna say, Raj, don't you have cultural law? Can you try
I'm
and
the law. I am the law.
can you try and
Jack is the
see
law,
what it
and
is?
I'm the law.
Indeed.
Uh,
Is the badge that the halfling had? Is it a ranger badge?
No, it's not a ranger badge because you'd be able to tell if it was. It looks military though, like it looks official.
Huh.
I do have cultural law.
Okay. You want to do a cultural law to kind of study the language or the writing?
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is my character sheet? Here. Yeah, I got cryptography if we need to decode something.
Okay, good to know. So Krosik has studied the book, and it doesn't look like any no language that he's ever seen. Like a lot of the Confederate languages use a common alphabet, and the ones that don't, like kind of like orcs and dwarves and things, like they don't look anything like this. This is kind of like a weird sets of like dots and then lines and then squiggles. So you're fairly confident this isn't any known language.
Okay.
If
So
anything,
in
it
that-
probably looks more mathematical.
In that case, can I try to do some sort of check to decode it? If I can.
Yeah, that would come under intelligence cryptography. And any of you are welcome to have a go at it.
Yeah, I'll try that up too.
Is there a cryptography focus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. It's
Oh.
amazingly.
White Wolf has it.
That's just Garrick.
Sorry, it hasn't shown up on my screen yet. Come on, rolls.
Tolly got 13, Shaq got 10.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Did you say you had cryptography?
Yeah. I got 3 intelligence and cryptography.
Twig's 13 will just about do it. This was based on a degree of success roll, which is a rarely used rule, but it's essentially like the better the number on your stunt die when you
Yeah.
made the roll. Yeah,
I rolled a
tickled
little
yeah,
bit wrong.
So Twig has essentially been able to decode 3 pieces of information.
What did Black Wolf?
Oh well, Black Wolves help. Well, since you've passed as well, okay. Between Twig and Black Wolf, you've managed to code all like a number of pages from this journal. So it becomes very clear from decoding the first page, which does take you quite a while, but once you get the pattern, the code's actually quite simple to work out. So maybe the two of you spend a good hour kind of like puzzling over this and working out how the weird squiggles and dots become an alphabet, but once you do, it becomes quite simple. It becomes very clear that this belongs to some sort of military scout, because it describes a lot about terrain and the movements of certain groups within the Shattered Plains. So there's quite a few notes about kind of landscape and like watering holes and stuff like that. And then there's entire pages based around just the movements of different groups, and between the two of you, you've managed to decode 4 pieces of information that this scout had recorded. I'll copy these into Discord, but I'll read them out as well. So the first thing you decode is that the natives, known as Blue Wind Clicknick, are the largest economic and military power in the Shattered Plains. Accordingly, Reinhold's top man has been dispatched to negotiate with their leader. If these Clicknid can be made into allies, they would be extremely useful. On the next page, there is a note about another group of Clicknid, so far unidentified, that have been sighted in a similar region. They appear to be hostile to the other Clicknids and have been seen kidnapping Blue Wind Clicknids that come into their territory. The scout has recommended in his journal that Reinhold exterminators are deployed at once to deal with this rogue element. A few pages on, there is a section detailing the movements of Saurian blood tracker cultists who have appeared in the region of Cloud Mesa. However, they seem to be hunting down the local gnolls to use in their gory rituals, and so the scout recommends to leave them to it and let them do their work for them. And the final piece of information, Dustback trolls are being pushed east into the 100 Hoodoos thanks to the efforts of an advance party of Reinhold enforcers. Once this stage is complete, Operation Big Bertha will be able to enter the region without opposition. And then the last few pages of the journal are just kind of like details of like a sort of an improvised calendar recording movements of the sun and verdant in the sky and sort of like basic stuff like that. Also, there's a few doodles in the margins.
Are any of
Well,
them
these-
any useful?
Yeah, I was gonna
Any
say.
useful? Are any of the
No,
doodles
most
any
of them are actually quite crude, and not the sort of thing that really should be put in an important military journal. They're just rude little drawings.
Go back real quick.
Okay, so that's fairly worrying that they're looking to get rid of a group of Clicknid.
Well, that Clicknid could be the ones that are controlled by the Queen.
Yeah, probably.
Because do we know the blue is the blue Catal the one that what's the face is aligned with?
Yeah, the Blue Wind is what ICMA has identified herself as being part of.
Yeah, so I think it's basically the Queen's, because they said it was kidnapping them, so she's mostly kidnapping them to form a new hive.
She like from the visions I saw, she was essentially brainwashing Clicknid and just forcing them to do her bidding.
And I wonder what is Operation Big Bertha. Some nasty
Well, whatever it
rifle
is, it sounds like it's
twisting.
being finished soon.
Yeah.
I think we need to go and find the convoy very soon, get finished with what we're trying to do, and then go back to Prosperity Junction because Operation Big Bertha sounds quite bad.
Yeah.
Come back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so let's just take the journal with us and the badge, and yeah, we'll head towards the caravan.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys kind of mount up again, and you start continuing to head in the direction that Krosek had divined for you. Krosek goes back to doing his meditation-y thing, and you guys travel for a good several more hours across open plains. So that gives Krosek time to do his meditation-y, spirity search thing. Could you please make what do we normally use for you doing this sort of thing? I think we do arcane law when you do spirit walking, don't we?
Yeah, I don't have a spirit walker focus.
Yeah, that's cool. Good. Use intelligent arcane law for me to make a check, and we'll just call it an average check because, as you've mentioned, you're sort of looking for spirits that are familiar to you and you have a bond with.
Specifically, what's her name? I can't remember her
Jesse
name.
Redhammer.
No,
Ikma.
Ikma, yeah. 14.
Okay, so despite the kind of the jumping around and kind of rattling around on the back of the storm chaser, you are able to sort of create that meditative focus, and your mind kind of disperses across the whole shattered plains as you enter the spirit world. And your spirit sort of calls out for Ikmar, who you've come to know quite well at this point, and for a while there is just kind of a lot of noise and chaos, and almost like you can hear shouting, but it's lost to the wind. And then eventually you do sense Ikmar, and you can like focus on that little spark of light that you sense of her, and you kind of zoom in on her in your vision, and you have this sense of being tired, and your leg hurts, and you're losing blood from the wounds in your abdomen, and there's ichor pouring out of your thorax, and you don't know if you're going to last much longer, and you wish you could find your friends, but you don't know where you are.
Can I tell her everything's gonna be okay?
You try to talk to her, but she doesn't seem to respond, and the vision gets harder to maintain, and then the storm chaser goes over a big rock and kind of jolts you, and you come sort of with a shock back into the real world. But you do have a sense, roughly, of where she was from your vision, which I guess is part of what you were looking for.
Oh Jesus! Okay, we need to go and help Ikmar.
So, assuming you can tell us what direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I guide? Can I guide? I would like to juice up the storm chaser.
Take the wheel.
Does the storm chaser have a wheel?
Well, it must get steered somehow.
All right.
Okay, so you were fairly right with your predictions, but it looks like they actually stopped a little before where you were expecting them to go. Like they seem to have stopped a little early. But you're not too far away.
Are we there, or are we traveling?
You're where the red. Well, yeah, you're more or less where the red mark is. There may be about a day away. Like you guys have pretty fast mounts, but it's still like give 100 miles or so to cover.
Is everyone sitting on the storm chaser, or do we all have separate mounts and things?
My impression was that people had like Black Wolf has a wolf, and that other people have the what they called Cobalt Mustang horses.
Okay.
Indeed.
So you've got like a little group of cars and mounts.
I'm gonna juice up the storm chaser with some mana, so it goes a bit faster. So maybe some of us can get there a bit quicker, because I don't want Ikmar to die.
Oh, actually, I've just had a thought. Right, so the storm chaser has solar panels. What's the weather like at the moment?
It is pretty sunny. It's clear blue skies.
Right, I'm gonna get out the sunstone and try to angle it so that it shines on the panels of the storm chaser.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So okay, you set up the solar panels, and you get the sun sphere out of its tinderbox, and sort of Twig kind of like hoists it up like with two hands above her head so that it catches the sun. And as the sun catches it and reflects onto the solar panels, like the light becomes intensely bright, so much that none of you can look directly at it. And you kind of have that thing where like the image is almost burned onto the inside of your eyelids when you close your eyes. And so everyone closes their eyes or looks away, and then a moment later, once Twig brings the sun sphere back down, you hear the sound of the storm chaser's engine just revving on its own, like just with raw power, and the storm chaser is kind of almost like bouncing up and down a bit on the spot on its suspension, and the engine is really revving like mad. And Twig can see that the batteries are like supercharged.
Go.
I feel like a little LED screen that lights up and fills. Bloop 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 bloop.
Right, let's brew this thing then. Twig
Okay.
like buttons on the dashboard.
Okay, so Twig flicks a load of switches on the dashboard and like revs the engine and like just launches this thing ahead at full speed. Those of you on your mounts are now maybe given the Cobalt Mustangs travel very quickly, and so does the Dire Wolf. You guys have probably been traveling a little slower to go with the Storm Chaser on rough terrain, but now that's no longer a problem, and you're all able to just ride absolute full speed. And the whole lot of you just go flat out for the rest of the day, and into the night. And to cut a long story short, after several hours of this intense fast speed traveling, Krosek suddenly yells out to stop, 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 because you can feel Ikmar's spirit is close.
Also, just to remember, we've had sleep so we can heal.
Where's Igmar?
Right, basically you guys have to just ride around a little bit, just trying to find the right direction in that typical way when you've kind of got a compass, and like the closer you get to the point, it kind of gets a little bit harder
No,
to
it's
zero in.
I've got where. Can I use my death? Because I'm guessing we're under a mile away.
You probably are under a mile away, yeah.
So can I use my death thingy to see if anyone's died?
You can try it, yeah, sure. Yeah, so it's essentially you get to make a perception tracking focus, but you're sort of tracking through senses, through smelling the air, rather than actually looking on the ground.
So what is it? It's a tracking one, isn't it? So
Yeah, it's perception. Try again.
Oh, you bastard!
No, that'll do it. You only needed an average, which is 11.
And I stunted.
You can technically make a stunt point if you want to use that for exploration stunt or anything. Okay, so with what Black Wolf senses is not something that is dead, but something that is close to death, and she sort of starts moving ahead on her wolf in a particular direction, and everyone follows. And after searching around for about 5 minutes with Black Wolf's direction, suddenly in the headlights, this is at night time, in the headlights of the storm chaser, you suddenly see this like little insect-like figure just kind of like weaving erratically across the plains ahead of you. And you kind of hurry up to her, and you can see that it is Ikma, and that she's badly injured. She's got this ichor-stained bullet hole that punctures through her abdomen, and one of her legs looks badly hurt. She's got an improvised bandage of cloth around it, but it's stained with all this dark, sticky blood. And she drags it behind her, and that's, you can see why she's weaving around in this kind of odd, like, snake-like path that she's cutting across the plains. She also doesn't appear to have anything with her. Her trademark traveling pack, or the goods that she's normally trying to sell to people, like none of that's with her. She's just got nothing but herself. As you move towards her, she turns and kind of like looks worried, but as like her eyes adjust to the light, she sees it's you, and she cries out, "Friends! Help, Ikma! All dead! All dead!" And then she just collapses onto the ground at your feet.
Let's heal her up.
Gonna heal the shit out of Igmar.
Yes, you're welcome to do
Healing
that.
bullets here.
I don't know if this applies or not, but can I use my focusing courage to make her feel better, to boost her morale?
Yeah? How would you boost her morale at this point?
Like,
while she's uninjured?
just doing classic Twig things, like, you know, flying about erratically and sort of talking to her and being like, "You're going to be fine, everything's going to be fine, don't worry."
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Can I do a double-handed healing touch?
You can cast Healing Touch twice.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm trying to make it sound cooler. Okay, Wolfie.
But yes, you can do that. And you don't. I don't think you need to roll for that, Tolly. I think it's fine for Twig basically flits around and tries to reassure Ikma, and Ikma very weakly kind of like raises one like little clawed hand towards you and goes, friend Twig, everything okay now."
Do I need to roll for each touch?
Technically yes.
Okay.
Although if you failed to cast it, it would be surprising.
Yeah, do both.
Yeah. Okay, you're fine. So I'm assuming since you said healing the shit, you are using 3 magic points for each.
I'm gonna Yes,
Do you want to roll 6d6 of healing?
it did.
Okay. Right, so you just like lay both hands at the same time on Ikmar's chest and just like surge as much healing energy as you can into her. And there's this worrying moment where she doesn't seem to respond, but then she just sort of lets out this sigh, and the bullet hole that she's bleeding from starts to heal up, and her kind of like armored scarab skin regrows over it. And you unbandage her leg where it's quite badly cut, and then that starts to heal up and kind of snaps back into place as well. And she quickly begins to look better. Like, she clearly still looks exhausted. Like, her movements are very sluggish and weak, but you now know that she's going to be okay. Like, the damage is purely just sort of exhaustion from what she's been through, but she's no longer in danger. And she just sort of looks up and goes, "Thank you, friend Krosek. Ikmar grateful."
Igmar, what happened?
She goes, "Oh, Garrick, friend, very bad things."
Can you be more specific?
Where's
Yeah,
the
she sort
caravan?
of maybe she sort of like gets up into a sitting position and leans on you.
Oh, I take out some of the rations that we found off of that halfling and offer them to Ikma.
Okay, so maybe you give her some of the dried jerky from that pack and give it to her, and she sort of like puts it in her mandibles and sort of starts tearing little chunks out of it and goes, "Good, it's good. Thank you much." And once she's eaten a bit, she feels more able to talk. So she sort of talks to all of you, but she's sort of answering Garrick's question. And so she tells Garrick, "So when you leave, when friends leave, to at Cloud Mesa, Jesse Redhammer say, 'No worry, we go on. Friends will come back.' So we go and hope friends come back. And a few days later, we find special place. Magic geezers, 3 of them. Lots of good magic, all coming out of ground. Special place. Jesse Redhammer, very happy. Says many weirdos for ATC. Very good, yes?" And then Ikma kind of pauses, and she sort of like rubs her antenna together in like a kind of a worried gesture. And she says, "Afterward, bad things happen. Orc hunters who get food, you know them? They start being angry. They put down flag. Then Jesse angry, says it's not right flag. Jesse wants ATC flag. Orcs say they want their flag. Says flag make land belong to them. Then orcs use big guns, start shooting. People die, people run. It's very, very bad. Ikma run away and they shoot Ikma. Why shoot Ikma? When Ikma only be nice to orcs. It's bad orcs. No like them. Very bad. Very bad orcs. So Ikma run away. And then you find Ikma. Hello."
How did you say hello at the end?
Yes.
We have Krosek to thank for finding you.
Yes.
He did all the hard work.
Also, I take the badge with the Reinhold Industries logo. Oh, at least I assume it is. And I'll show it to Igmar and ask if that is the mark in the flag that works.
And she shakes her head and goes, "No, very not like that. Flag has
See.
1 big eye and 10 little eyes around. Ikma no like it.
Oh.
ATC flag nicer."
Oh,
God
that's
damn it.
bastard.
That busted.
There
And
you
then
go.
at this point, Black Wolf goes, "I told you he told you should have killed him then."
Well, that's much more likely to happen now, isn't it? Alright, let's...
Twig is showing
Just right-
uncharacteristic signs of rage and is extremely upset that someone shot her business partner.
Yes, I think we should go and. Right, is Ikma well enough to take us to the caravan?
I mean, she's tired, but she can walk. Like her legs good. And
She can ride in the storm chaser with us.
yeah, no, she can do. When you ask her if if she can travel, she looks confused though. She's like, but orcs are nasty. Orcs have big guns. Ikma thinks we get
Well,
help.
We're a
Ikma,
lot nastier than them.
Hell, I'll take my gun. We got bigger guns.
Can Black Wolf ask if any of her people were killed in the
Oh yeah.
in the scuffle?
she says. She basically says she saw some wagons trying to get away, but she doesn't know if they got very far because the orcs were chasing them down. And she looks kind of worried, and she says that's how she got away, was because the orcs were focused on stopping the wagons. They weren't able to stop her. But she didn't see how many got away.
I say thank you, Ikma. And then I swear very loudly and use a common like a Vagan swear. And as this happens, just I explode with death magic in anger. Not to cause harm to anyone around me, just to vent my frustration.
I was like, yeah, just venting some raw magic off into the air. Ikma,
We need to track them down.
Ikma
Yeah,
tells
we need
you,
to check it out.
Orc's bad. Ikma thinks we get help. Ikma knows place, not far from here. Other Clicknids there. Clicknids help us kill nasty orcs. Is safe that way. Big guns. Very big guns.
Huh.
Twig sort of like looks Ikma in the eye and just says like, we've got 3 mages, 2 warriors, no, 1 warrior, 1 extremely accurate ranger, and I've got a robot that shoots fire. We're gonna make this right.
Also, we say we don't want to. I say we don't want to harm or bring. Words. I don't want any harm to come to the Clicknids of the Blue Sun Cartel.
Yeah. Let's go and wreak some terrible vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ikma agrees with you, and she says, she can lead you back there.
Good.
Are you guys ready to go? Do you want to
Yeah.
prepare anything? Or?
Yeah, ready.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, under Ikma's direction, you guys kind of like head to, well, pretty much where I put the blue cross on the map, and you sort of approach from the north, and basically, as you get nearer to this place that Ikma describes, you can see these bright lights kind of up on the horizon, and you realize that they're essentially magical geysers, like these great fiery columns of burning magical aether that soar up into the sky, and they light up the whole area around in the dark. And even from this distance, they kind of remind you of those aether gazers you encountered before in that canyon near Blessed Creek, if you remember that.
Yep.
But these ones, as you watch them, seem much more stable, not quite so explosive and dangerous. They actually seem quite sort of rhythmic and regular in their patterns. Like, you can see 3 of these columns of magical fire, but they sort of seem to move in a circle. Like, one of them will always be rising up the highest while the other 2 sink down, and then that one will that high one will sink down and another one will rise up, and it kind of just rotates in this fairly pleasing rhythmic pattern every 30 seconds or so. And those of you with magical abilities, so Krosek and Theo and Black Wolf, you start to get this tingling sensation. You can sense that the air in this area is almost laced with this raw magical aether, and it's strangely refreshing. Like you can feel your own mana reserves are just like being naturally topped up by it, which is quite a pleasant feeling almost. And essentially just going forward, while you're in this area, while you cast, you sort of instinctively know, while you cast spells in this place, you're not going to need to spend mana points. However, you've never been in this kind of situation, so who knows what other unexpected effects using magic might have in this place. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to move you into a map. I'm using some of the Roll20's lighting features, so I'm not 100% sure how much you're going to be able to see.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Ooh.
Do you see complete darkness and then some lit
Outside
areas?
of the the wards and the stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move your tokens into the top left corner of the map. And if necessary, I'll give them a light source, like you're carrying, what am I trying to say? Like you're carrying torches or something.
Populars have dark sight, and I'd rather rely on that than a torch.
Fair enough. Can you see yourselves, or are you all dark?
Top left.
Yep.
Okay, I'll assign you some of your own light sources then. And as you've pointed out, Dart has, yeah, like sight, dark sight, whatever you want to call it. So I'll give him a little bit extra for how far he can see. I don't know if any of the rest of you have any kind of night vision. Possibly
No.
Saurians do.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Do
thought Saurians had night vision.
I don't. know.
I'll have a look. See. I think that's something you specifically removed. Let me have a look. It's not in my. I would have put it in my character page. I think. I think
No.
Sprite has night vision.
It might have been on I might be remembering it from like an earlier draft of the Saurians.
No,
Maybe,
Saurians
yeah.
don't have night vision. Strength focuses. You can read certain languages.
I can read. Oh my god.
Well,
Some of you can read.
Yeah, Grosek's very intelligent. Okay. He might
Well,
have to get
crazy.
catapult.
I'm pretty sure it's
crazy.
a case of Krosek knows a lot of things. He might
Doesn't know
not be
what they
particularly
mean.
smart.
Hey,
He's
But
got
no,
approximate knowledge of many things.
He's got intelligence, which is meant to be book smarts.
yeah, the whole point of Krosek is that he's a scholar. As well, that was like his whole reason for the journey, is to learn
Yeah.
stuff. What are we talking about?
Okay,
But
so
when
the
it-
top, I've arrived you guys in the top left. Hopefully, you guys should be able to see yourselves now.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nifty. Also, although we haven't really heard much from them, I'm assuming that Eagle Eye and Claude are still with you,
Yep.
because there was nowhere else really for them to go. So
Having spotted all the. Oh, sorry, are you still putting things in?
yeah, that's fine, but you can discuss, and I'll describe the camp for you if you like, in terms of what you can see, because I'm essentially seeing this as you guys are approaching from a distance, so but you can kind of, obviously you can see stuff going on. But anyway, what were you going to say, Tully?
I was going to say I just want to put my my shadow cloak up.
Oh, yeah, that seems reasonable.
Same.
I'm also guessing like Spret's got some damage and Claude's got some damage, so I'm guessing
Yeah, I'm
that
just
should all be
fixing
hit.
them.
And Twig,
Oh,
you still damage.
Can we seal the lit up areas, or are they like too far for now?
No, you can see from here.
Okay.
So did you say we'd healed after the storm? Or
We spent 3
You
nights
spent
sitting in the
2
cave.
Oh,
days.
yeah.
So you
Okay,
had
so-
time. Really, the thing with the storm was more like if you guys had problems that it was gonna be like 1d6 and then 2d6 and then 3d6, but you guys,
okay.
you know, had success in finding your stuff pretty easily.
Sure, I would have admitted guilt by that point and done something.
Wouldn't Ikmar be with us as well?
Oh shit, yeah, that's a good point. If you're gonna be all technical about it.
I feel like we should leave Ikmar in the car.
I mean, yeah, you also can do that. It's up to you. Do you want to bring her into this, or?
Just roll some windows down.
Leave the radio on.
Leave us some water as well.
She's got it live, like a click pod. There's little some headphones. She's just like chilling, and then outside you just like hear us just murdering everyone brutally. And Ikmar's just like humming along. That's a good thing.
Okay, so Igmar showed up as well. Right. So as you can kind of see, you've seen these magical geysers, and now that you're closer and kind of looking down on it from this slightly elevated position you have, you can see there are these 3 burning columns that erupt out of the ground, and they seem to be quite volatile, like there's these sort of winds blowing around them, and also like sort of rocks that have been ripped out of the ground kind of just float in the air magically and kind of rotate around these geysers. There's also some sort of rather odd-looking purple crystals that seem to be surrounding that whole area below you in the bottom left of the map, where, I don't know, that they just seem to be growing around the geysers. Perhaps of more immediate importance to you, in the bottom right of the map, you can see where a campsite and some wagons are. You only see 3 wagons, or like the outlines of wagons. You know that your expedition had at least 7, so you don't know what's happened to the others. You notice that there are a number of tents and a campfire where there are some orcs sitting, and Garrick, you particularly notice, if you can see where I'm pinging, there's this orc called Boomer. You know him from when you had your little can shooting competition, and the leader of the orcs was this guy Boomer. He was the one who kind of like almost like he did the best, but then he failed on the last can and you beat him. So Garrett recognizes him. You see numerous other orcs kind of wandering around. Some of them have torches. There's this large log tower surrounded by barbed wire that I'm hoping you can see where I'm pinging. That is what appears to be a fairly hastily constructed basic watchtower made out of like dry dead logs. But it's relatively well constructed. It maybe is about 10 feet tall. Like, you know, it's only like 1 story up. But it gives the orcs who are positioned up on it a good sort of vantage point, and you can see a couple of orcs up there carrying like quite big rifles. You also catch sight, kind of in that barbed wire encampment. You can see 3 people that you recognise. I'm assuming possibly like maybe Garrick is using his rifle sight to kind of like zoom in on these people, but you can see quite clearly that Jesse Redhammer, Longhorn Arnold, and this gnome called Smigs, which, if you remember, was the train driver who stole the train.
Yep.
And later you caught up with him and said he had to do time by helping the wagons. That's him. He's there too. So those 3 are basically sitting on the ground in this like little barbed wire prison area. You can't really tell what kind of condition they're in, but they just sort of, the 3 of them just seem to be sitting there quite meekly. Yeah, the other thing you can see is that there appear to be these little totems that are sort of scattered about the campsite, and they have this sort of like burny, sort of like little fire spirits, like motes of fire that kind of like just swirl around them. You're not quite sure what they're about, but you do see, again, if you can see where I'm pinging, kind of a little below the watchtower, there's this orc who looks like some sort of shaman or witch doctor. Like she's sort of kind of like has sort of odd tattoos about her that maybe marks her out as some sort of magic user. She seems to be moving methodically around the camp and like attending to these wards. And like when she sometimes their fire seems to burn quite low and they go dark, but then when she goes near them, she kind of like puts a hand on them and they sort of seem to burn brightly again. And she just sort of like seems to be moving around the perimeter of the camp, like going around lighting those one at a time. So yeah, that's what you can see. I think because we're about halfway through now, would be a very convenient time to have a break, and you guys can think about how you might want to approach this situation. So I'm going to say if we have a 10-minute break, meet back in 10 minutes, and you guys can talk about what you'd like to do. Just to be clear, you haven't been seen or anything yet, because you're up on this sort of slightly higher piece of land. So you're good, but there is obviously a risk of being seen once you kind of pass down into the lower ground. So kind of around here is probably a point where you might want to be careful.
Who has dynamite?
I do.
Yo.
Well,
I could have flamethrower.
I'm going to go AFK, so you can legitimately for a few minutes discuss things without the GM hearing if you wish. Back in a minute. But you've got a 10-minute break if you want to take it. Now's the time.
Yep.
I think I at least should sneak up because I don't need a torch to see. And then the magic users and Garrick should just shoot / blow up the watchtower and the other magic users, and then I'll rush for the people at the campfire.
I also got night vision goggles.
You can sneak up as well then. I'm going FK as well.
Do we know which one shot Igma? Was it Boomer?
I don't think
Who
we
is the
know.
boss? We don't know who shot him or her.
Do you have any fire spells or anything that could set fire to that tower?
I've got a lightning bolt that might be able to do it.
We can just lob some dynamite to the tower.
True, yeah.
What's the range on lightning bolt?
30 yards. Yeah, 30 yards.
You could basically be in darkness and just cast lightning bolt.
I'm gonna kill the shaman first, I think.
I'm back.
I'll go back.
I can also snipe the shaman.
You know, I was
Yeah.
thinking we snipe. Like if we do like you try and set fire to the wood and take out the two, or even not take them up, just make it so they have to come down from higher ground, so they don't get an advantage on us.
Yeah. I can try to find a good sniping spot so I can snipe from there. My rifle's range is pretty high, so it should reach almost entire map with the scope.
So what sort of thing are you planning?
Just gonna set everything on fire, I think. Apart from the prisoner cage.
Well, luckily the prisoner cage is metal.
Yeah, that'll heat up and it might roast
Yeah.
them.
I was going to say, the prisoners are not metal.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know what the totem was will do.
Yeah, true.
That's why
That's
I
what I'm
was-
concerned about.
I think we should kill the shaman first.
Well, I think I should at least sneak up closer, simply because I can just run in, and it's a good chance that we'll find out what the totem wards do, and it won't kill me.
Yeah. If we really need to, we can rush and back you up. I think having you sneak up when they can't see you is a really good idea. Because it means you can just engage them.
Right, I'm here again. What's the plan?
Yeah.
It's been said.
Well, I think I should sneak up, but you should start it. So, like, you do something to get the drop on them, and then I rush in, rather than me rushing in being the thing that starts the fight.
The thing that starts. What's your accuracy like? With throwing weapons, with dart.
None.
Ah, damn it.
You can punch things at +2, but you can't throw.
Because I was thinking, if he can sneak in and get close, he can throw the dynamite to blow up the. You know.
I can try and lead someone else in, but then they might stumble.
See, you could
Oh.
lead me in because I actually do have I have stealth and I have decent dex.
Shaq has night vision, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, duh,
And like his accuracy is like
a million.
he's bullseye.
It's like it's daytime for him right now.
So yeah, basically, if you two go in, one of you throw the dynamite at the same time, like basically at the same time as like Krosek lightning bolts everybody. Actually, you could fork lightning all three of them at the same time. Are they in range of each other?
Does it?
The sharpshooter and the hunter.
Is there friendly fire though?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, is there a chance he'll clip?
Because I think he has to set it as his willpower of if he says it hits
I can
three
choose the
targets.
number of targets.
Yeah. So if he says 3, it'll hit 3. And you've got willpower of 4 or 5?
Right, it's my stunt dice, the amount of targets it hits.
Is it? So if you can get 3, like a 3 on that, you can hit off. And we just basically, if we can blow up those 3, we're in a great, like advantage.
I'm not sure it'll insta kill them.
No,
No,
but
right.
I'm talking about if we do the dynamite as well, and then that can.
Me and Shaq sneak up. Shaq throws dynamite. As soon as the dynamite lands, Raj shoots lightning. As soon as the dynamite blows up, I charge in.
I'm back.
What should I be doing?
You can
Why
sing a
don't
lovely
we
song.
strap dynamite to Dart, Dart jumps in, I lightning bolt Dart, set him off.
Jeez, he'll probably survive it. He's got like
Just
2 billion
thinking, like,
health.
Yeah.
And then is it Garrick or Thea who has the bullets that can heal?
Yeah, just shoot him with the bullets that heal. Exactly,
Both
this is a
do.
genius plan.
So if you guys are going for the big gunner, boomer, and the veteran, should I try and sneak up on the shaman and take her out?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I don't know what those wards do, but I'm assuming it'll be something bad. I'm not sure if they're just for sight. No, if they're just for sight, then this one would be glowing, and it isn't.
They might run out.
So, unless it's just an oversight.
Either way, magic users need to die first.
Which one are you referring to?
The one above the tower.
I'm guessing that the shaman just hasn't got to it yet and reinvigorated it.
Yeah, you've got a point. Maybe it's something like that.
Or it's a trap.
That one's yeah, maybe that one's flame looks lower than the others.
Yeah, so either way, it seems like it's going to be something not friendly. So if I can try and take out the shaman, then the totems should
Oh,
at least like depower or something.
We've also got to take into consideration what might happen when we cast spells.
Yeah, good point.
You get unlimited power.
Gonna make shit go boom.
Get like a massive backlash and kill ourselves.
That's
So-
fine.
As long as either Raj or Theo don't kill themselves, we're fine.
Yeah.
Because they can res.
exactly.
I
Don't
can
worry.
just poke you with a stick.
We can press, but
Also, their shaman can probably do the same as well. So, but unlimited magical power.
Yeah, we should probably take out the shaman first.
And then I'm going to raise her.
So, has anyone who wants to take a break had a break? And is
I
everyone
think
here?
so.
I'm here.
I think I heard everyone in that discussion.
so Twig, are you gonna sneak a dynamite in the shaman's pocket?
That
Um,
sounds foolproof.
How big is the dynamite? As big as Twig? Like Twig's what, roughly sort of just over a foot tall, maybe or so.
Dynamite's probably not quite as big as Twig, but almost, I would have said then.
What's he saying?
But it's not particularly heavy, is it? It's just powder. I don't know. I don't know if it would be something I need to do a strength check for or not. To carry it, to try and sneak it
How much
into
are you
the
carrying
shaven.
single stick of dynamite?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Twig could carry that without problem. If you wanted to carry multiples, I'd make you do a strength test.
Okay.
Well, it's the throw-in. Because if you're sneaking forward, I'm going as well, so I could just carry them for you. And
But
then take them over.
I think if I use my shadow cloak, I could probably sneak actually like almost
right.
directly next to the shaman and sneak it onto them. Just get it like sneak it into a pocket or like a fold of robe or something.
But doesn't Garrick have the same cloak as well?
Yeah, it does.
I
Yeah,
think
But it's
also
also
got night
slightly
vision.
bigger than me.
Yeah.
I am hands-on the best sneak dude around.
Also, he's like, because I think the dynamite should be used for the tower, just to get rid of the tower.
How many sticks have we got?
You know, like 3.
Let's say 5 or something like that. I bought a lot when I had the money.
So, Eagle Eye approaches Garrick and says, "What do you want me to do, boss?"
Stay with Theo and try not to die. And
You got
cover
it.
me when I go in.
Alright, she gives you a little salute, and yeah, she's good with that. Claude tells you guys that he has sworn off violence, and
Oh yeah.
he would like to help you in this fight, but he can't. But he feels maybe his best duty would be to protect Ikma, since this doesn't seem something she should get involved in.
I agree with him.
And Dexys can stay there until like we've dealt with the shaman.
So where are you going to put Dexus?
What's Dex's range?
Dex's range is, I think, at the most 24 meters.
We're gonna make some sort of artillery for him.
The pyrophone's kind of like artillery, but
I mean, the thing with the pyrophone though, if you shoot, if I was to put the dynamite in, like say one of the pipes, and then set it off, it's likely to just blow up the dynamite in Dexys.
Yeah, it does shoot fire, doesn't it?
But you're saying there's a chance it launches it, right?
I'm not risking my robot.
But we could.
Maybe
But
another
Dexys has that like suicide button, doesn't he? Let's
Yeah.
jihad Dexys.
Dexys does have like a
Let's fill Dexys up with
all else
dynamite.
goes wrong button.
Fill Dexys up with dynamite. They're not going to shoot him.
You could just build another.
Yeah, take
Yeah,
the Firefly out,
and-
obviously.
To be fair, that is the like Fey philosophy of like life is more important than machinery. But
I love the idea of jihading Dexys into these orcs.
I mean, because the like final decision button thing,
Yeah.
like essentially ejects the core and blows up all the remaining gas. So like the Firefly would get ejected somewhere with.
Could we
like,
not just
the
take him
core
out
sort of,
first
like,
and then like?
bits?
Could you not fiddle with it? and then
Well, the Firefly would be fine either way.
Yeah.
Like, but Dexys would end up as a charred, smouldering hunk of
smithereens.
explodedness.
But it looked cool.
It would look
Okay,
cool.
let's-
I mean, like, we'll keep that as like a last solution.
Okay, a final solution, you might say, Tolly.
For God's sake. I was really trying not to say that.
Tolly
Anyway.
role plays as Kate Hopkins.
God, exactly. What I was gonna say.
Anyway,
All right.
yeah,
Well, we've got Tolly's final solution if we need it.
I think there is actually a name for it. I forget what I named the thing. Haven't I?
We did discuss it, like as a particular function. But I know what you're referring to anyway.
I don't think I ever wrote anything out for it.
It'll be in our Discord chat log, but you might have to scroll back a long way, so I wouldn't worry
Yeah.
about it for now. Suffice to say, if you want to use it, we'll work it out. Okay, so Eagle Eye, as I understand it, Eagle Eye's orders are to stick with Theo.
Yeah, and try to help as best you can.
Cool. She's got her rifle. She's got everything you've taught her over the last week, so she's good
Yep.
to go. And yeah, Claude will stay with Ikma. They're going to stay here. Dexys, I guess, is sticking around there until Twig tells him to do otherwise. Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys have a plan. So I mean, you guys tell me what you want to do.
Let's go in guns blazing.
Let's sneak up, then go in guns blazing.
Let's sneak up with guns partially blazing. then
Only
go full
like
blaze.
somewhat blazing.
Please roll for partial stealth, blazing sneak.
We
attack.
set ourselves on fire and then sneak in.
So
Great.
never expect it.
They probably wouldn't expect that. They might see it coming though. Anyway, right, what are we doing?
I wanna
So
sneak-
do we need to split up then? If I'm going towards the shaman and you guys are going towards the others?
Well, no,
Is that
I'll go
what's going on?
ahead that way as well. I was going to run past the tower.
Did Ikmar tell
I
us
will
which?
say,
Sorry.
just because you guys essentially are kind of on the edge of all this and have kind of been able to survey the terrain, if you want to sort of come off the map and come on at a different point, you are also welcome to do that. You don't have to move from where you are. You can choose a different, like, starting edge, if you like.
Can redeploy.
Let's go
You
to
don't
the
have to. I'm just saying you have the option. Don't feel
Well,
strange.
no, I don't know what's going on.
Well, we could have a couple people come in from like below,
Yeah, but I
like
think
down
that,
here.
I can
above.
come from there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, especially the casters. Like, if we are near the geysers, we might get some kind of a power boost.
Yeah, how far is the range of those geezers, or don't we know?
In terms of the kind of
The map.
in terms of the effect,
Yeah.
it's the whole map and
Ah.
further. You started feeling that sort of strange tingling feeling, like several miles out before you got here. They're basically blasting Aether up into the atmosphere, and it's saturating the area.
Can I start here?
I wouldn't recommend starting there. Partly because you have to start at the edge of a map if you redeploy. Partly because that's a burning column of magical fire.
I think it's fine where we are. Like the prisoners are slap bang in the middle, pretty much, of all the wards. So coming from another angle doesn't get you there any quicker.
But it's more
And
thinking
they're
of like
spread out.
making them split their attention.
Yeah, but then it means we're also cut off from each other.
That's true.
Let's just make sure that we have a healer in both groups if we split up.
And I like the idea of Garrick and Dart sneaking up and then doing something, and then we just rain hell from afar.
That works as well.
Okay, so is that the plan then?
Yeah,
Sneaky
sneakers go
sneaks.
sneak.
Okay, so who is sneaking and to where? Well, okay. First, is anyone sort of redeploying, or you guys fine starting around here?
No, I
Because
think
otherwise,
we're
you can
staying
just
put.
move forward and work stuff out as you go. And when I feel you need a stealth test, I'll ask you to make one.
Might as well start at the bottom left.
Can you see anything in the non-lit areas out of interest, or is it just
No.
black?
No.
Okay.
Just
That's as it should be. Just curious. Okay.
Well, I want to
Seems worrying that you asked us that.
I'm just curious about a new feature. I don't know why you're so negative and paranoid.
I would just like
Well,
to
I'll
say,
start
I'm not using the
sneaking at
torch.
least. And I'll redeploy in the south. Or was there a...
Okay, so that's essentially representing you kind of backing up and then like skirting around and flanking them. So you can come
Yes.
on the any edge you like, but you just have to sort of be starting on like the square by the edge. You can't go any further in. I mean, from then on you can move, but I would probably ask you to make a stealth check for any movement beyond that.
Is that cool?
That's fine.
I'm going to go and start in the same sort of place as well.
Okay.
Actually looks like a good spot.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
The signal for
start from
attack
there too.
is the dynamite exploding, guys.
The sound of a dying giraffe.
I want to also go where down there. Oops.
Shit. Okay, but before those guys go down there, do we still have time to talk, or have they gone now and that's it?
They're going.
Okay.
Those
I
guys-
could do a distraction.
How do I move my character down there without lighting up the? Oh wait.
That's a good question. Tell you what, I'll do it for you.
Who
If
was
you
it?
just scroll out, you can just pull it all the way along, or
Was it me and Theo did like the father-son bullshitting thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was,
Why don't
yeah.
we do that again?
Worked so well last time.
It did. It
It
genuinely
genuinely
did.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. It was surprisingly effective.
Indeed, but these are the hunters from our caravan, so they know us already.
Oh, true.
it's just occurred to me. Does Claude still believe that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's never heard any different. And in fact, you sung him an epic song about how his friend Jimmy died saving you all.
True.
Poor Jimmy.
Where's Theo? Oh no, you're down there, aren't you?
Yep.
I was looking, I was like, I can't find Theo.
I was thinking that I'll hide.
Okay, is everyone sort of
Behind
where they
here.
want to be starting? Crosset, you can have Spret next to you, because
Yeah.
he's your soul. Right. People who are coming in from edges, if you want to progress any further without being obviously spotted by the people in the tower, you are going to have to make stealth checks to move. Those of you who are up in the top left corner, you have a little bit of leeway before I'm going to ask you to make stealth checks because you're quite far away and on an elevated position.
Where would we need to roll for stealth?
Basically,
Because I just want to move to the edge
if you
of it.
see where I'm drawing it, can you see where I'm drawing an arrow? A little below you.
Any
Basically,
Far-
past this point, you need to make stealth.
Can I talk to people on Discord if they're not near me?
You can, but
Is it
I
involve
would
shouting
limit
to them
you
across the area?
on any strategic planning beyond what you've already agreed.
Oh shit.
Now, I'm not the stealthiest of people.
But
Did,
Shaq
uh,
is.
Well, no, that's the
Yeah,
point.
me
It's
as
like
well.
they want to go and hide somewhere slightly away from me, so that if I'm spotted, they're not instantly also spotted.
Can
Yeah,
I
if we just,
help,
like- Split slightly.
Do I know which one shot Igmar?
No. Ikma doesn't know who shot Ikma. She was running away
Okay.
and got shot in the back.
I'm gonna assume it was Boomer.
And should I run in?
It's like, I want revenge, so I'm just going to assume a target with my revenge.
Target acquired.
Well, they're all bastards.
Yeah, it's a good point.
They-
You make
they
a
all
very
make
good
die.
argument.
Get revenge on all of them.
But don't worry, if something's not going the way I want it, there is going to be hell to pay.
Okay, you guys better be prepared, because I'm gonna do some stupid shit.
Oh, good.
Do Twig and Garrick want to sneak in first, or shall I go ahead?
Let's try and get in. Where were you aiming to go, Garrick?
In tower.
Okay. So I'll follow him with you. Do you have we split up the dynamite accordingly?
Yeah, how many we want?
No, I'm just asking, like, because if I'm with you, I don't need any.
True that.
I've got some on me. For what I'm planning, it doesn't matter.
For what I'm planning, just can I have one of them? Because, in case I raise a dead, stick it in the raised dead.
Well, we're on the other side of the
No,
map
I'm-
now.
I think it's fair to assume you divvied up the dynamite according to your needs.
I'm telling
Yeah.
Krosek that. But
So
basically,
everyone who needs dynamite has dynamite.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So everyone,
Right.
okay.
So come on, let's start sneaking in.
You
Yes.
need to roll for Twig.
Whilst they're
Unless I
sneaking,
haven't
Oh.
seen it.
No, I haven't.
Sometimes it takes
Sorry.
a while for my thing to update. And you get your +2 for your cloak.
And +2 because I've got a focus.
And that. Yeah,
I'm
you're,
extremely stealthy.
You're both completely undetectable, moving like shadows in the night.
Shaq, yours is at 9.
also,
Just-
you stunted for 2.
Oh, stealth
That's-
with flourish.
How do you just
Just want
a
to-
flourish that nobody sees?
do you spin your cloak around you and you just disappear?
Just want to warn you, Tom. Going to be heading.
You can
roughly
take
the same
an
direction.
inspiration if you want for Garrick.
Yeah, sure.
Just so you get a +1 on your next doodad.
I also want to try and sneak in.
Okay, go for it.
It's dexterity, isn't it?
It is dexterity. Yeah, you're good. You are sneaky bastards. Where do you want to go? There's no initiative or anything like that, because you know, these guys are just going about their normal patrol and camp stuff.
Well, weren't we
I'm
going to
head
try and go
towards
towards the tower?
How do you want to... I will ask that you do move your tokens along, like, a few squares at a time, just to show me the routes you're taking. But other than that, yeah, go
Okay.
where you want to go.
Whilst they're doing this, can I try and execute my plan?
Yeah,
Let me go
is
first,
it
so I can see
a
further.
plan you need to private message me about, or do you just want... Is it just, like, something...
No, I think it's going to be
obvious?
quite obvious. Yeah.
Did you say you wanted to go first?
Well, I can see way further than
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
else.
Point. Yeah, okay.
Let them move a little bit more, and then you can do stuff, Chris.
Sneak.
Very
Sneaky
sneaky.
beavers.
So you guys have come to like the edge of kind of a little oasis-like lake, and there's a few palm trees and scrub bushes around you. And if you want to stop there, I think that's a reasonable amount of time. Krosek, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna hunch over, and I'm gonna like pull my cloak and stuff around me. I'm gonna cover up as much of my like skin and scales as possible.
Yeah.
Spret's just gonna kind of like hide herself on my body somewhere out of sight,
Okay.
and I'm looking fucking decrepit as hell. I'm gonna dodder my way into this camp.
My God.
Okay, you can start moving. I think, to be fair, I'm saying you can start moving, but you're not going to get all the way there because everyone needs a little time to do their stuff.
Sure. How far am I gonna get?
You can move. You can dodder along this far.
Okay.
Say around
About
there
there?
because like that's yeah. You can move forward to around there. You haven't been
Sure.
spotted yet, but you're in pretty serious danger of it. Like Theo,
Fine.
Black Wolf, do you wanna do any shuffling? I'm just trying to keep this in kind of
I was
like
gonna.
equal time.
I just rolled a stealth roll.
I was thinking of going
Okay.
hide behind this rock.
You're fine. So you can move Black Wolf. Theo, you need to make a stealth roll as well if you want to be stealthy. You don't have to.
How far can I move, or is it just?
You can move up to around. Oh, well, actually, you're stealthy, so you can go. I'm kind of abstracting this, but I guess you can sort of head up around this kind of space. Theo's okay on his stealth.
All being really subtle.
Yeah, everyone's pretty sneaky. Theo,
Ah.
I can imagine, is kind of like sneaking around like the rocky base of this enormous magical column, but just kind of like moving along behind these rocks that are kind of floating in the air and kind of like just moving between them and like sticking in their shadows.
Yep.
Okay. Team Alpha, by which I mean Dart, Garrick, and Twig. You can continue your sneaking now if you want.
Right, so can we see that grunt to our right?
Yeah, you can across the water. You can see him. He appears to be tending to a horse, and you can see like a dark shape behind the horse, which you guess is probably one of the wagons. And he's just basically feeding the horse and then grooming it while it drinks some of the oasis water.
We could try the stealth game. I got a knife. And Dart got a spear.
I was gonna say I stay here. If anything happens, I'll just go run straight up this way towards
Just
like,
straight
the
in.
gunner. Yeah, I was just gonna. Once the jig is up, I'm just gonna leg it in.
We can also, well, not actually. I was thinking we could try to talk them down because they know who we are, but I don't think they're gonna back down.
I don't think they'll take it.
Well, I'll try to sneak about here, behind this thingy.
Like rocky ledge.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna increase kind of maybe what you can see around this grunt since you're kind of closer and you can just see him across the water. Just in case that's helpful, but you can kind of like see him, like, because he's kind of got like a flaming torch in his hand as he goes about his.
What way is he facing? He's facing towards the horse.
He's actually kind of like he's facing the way. Yeah, to the right essentially. Like he's tending to the horse and looking at that.
I'm just trying to think. Because I was thinking, I wonder if I can get behind him by flying over the water. But I don't want to like splash around in the water. But then I don't know what I'd do having done that.
Water.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know what I'd do having done that though. Just wrench him in the back of the head.
Whacking.
Juice.
Do you get bonuses for attacking people from behind?
I would give you a bonus for this. Normally, if you ambush someone, you basically get to move. You get to have a turn before we even roll initiative. Which is what I would do. But if you manage to sort of attack him in a stealthy way that no one else would notice, I would just give you a bonus to the attack.
Right. So I don't really want to.
Because it's
Kill
quite
him.
hard to defend yourself against something you
But
don't see.
I want to like fly up behind him, like just bonk him on the back of the head to knock him out with my wrench.
Yeah, I mean you can certainly try that. I would essentially what I'd do is I'd reduce him to defense 10, and I would say that your wrench does double damage for the sake of knocking him out rather than killing him. Does that make sense? So if you were able to do enough damage to take out half his health, he would fall unconscious. Otherwise, you just have a very angry orc.
Right, okay. I am going to give that a shot.
Okay.
Do I need to roll any extra stealth to get in behind him?
You're still being stealthy.
Okay.
So he's just brushing his horse, telling it what a lovely horse it is. Calls it my lovely horse and sings a little song to it.
My little horsey.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him in the back of the head with my wrench.
Roll to hit, but he counts as def 10, so he should be fairly easy to hit because you're hitting him in the back of the head.
I ask this every time because I never remember what melee is.
Fighting. That stat that Twig doesn't use that often. Okay, so you successfully whack him on the back of the head with your big wrench. Roll damage, please. Ah.
Shit.
Okay, you whack the grunt on the back of the head, and he sort of like falls forward a bit, but then catches himself, and turns around and yells out, "What the hell was that?" And he turns around and sees you, and his eyes just glare red at you. I am going to say, in the terms of simultaneous movement, Krosek, Blackwolf, and Theo can kind of have a move of like up to their run speed to get closer in, but then we will go to initiative because Twig's angered an orc.
Can we take actions instead?
If you want to, yes. And so you can
Start
move
to
up
do-
to that or take an action or do what you want, but like it'll be one action and then we'll go to initiative rolling.
Was that signal? Signal to back?
That was the signal, right, guys?
No, no, no,
Black
no.
Wolf.
Orc yelling bloody murder.
Black Wolf moves behind this rock. How big is this rock?
That's fairly big. That's several times bigger than Black Wolf.
So she can hide comfortably behind it
Yeah, totally.
for now.
Is this crystals like big enough to hide behind?
The crystals are several feet in height, so yes, you could reasonably hide behind them.
But are
Oh,
the
what are
crystals
they like?
pink or are they clear?
They're kind of they're opaque, so you can't see through them. Fear hiding behind this enormous transparent glass.
It's just like warping him so he looks really, really small.
I like the other way. It makes him look really, really big.
I'm afraid they're opaque, so yeah, you
I'm
can't see
gonna-
through them.
I'm gonna lightning bolt the shaman.
Okay, cool.
Doesn't cost mana, does it?
It doesn't cost mana, but you still have to roll to cast it. And stuff
I
can
definitely
happen
do it.
depending on your stunt dice.
I rolled a 6
Yeah, you did.
and I stunted.
Okay, so you stunted. What would you like to do with your stunt points?
Ooh. I love it when you ask me that question. Let me have a look. Sorry, I'm just finding the. I'll cast lethal spell, and I'll use 1 point of powerful casting. So spell power increases to 15, and it does an extra 2d6.
Cool. Okay.
He has to roll
because
15.
you got a 6 on your stunt die as well, that determines the effect of being near the Aether Geezers. Basically, you received the empowered effect. Your spell surges with additional power and does an extra 1d6 of damage.
So I'm
Oh my god!
that's 3d6 plus 1d6 plus another d6 if she fails her Constitution check.
Okay. So I'll roll her Constitution.
Yeah, and then so it's against 15, by the way.
Is it just Constitution or is it like stamina?
Her Constitution stamina versus my spell power.
Okay, because she actually has a focus in stamina, which is good for me.
It's okay. I think she's going to take a lot of damage anyway. Unless I roll like 5 ones. Yeah,
19.
she's okay. So she only takes 4d6 plus 4 penetrating damage.
Ah, she'll be good. I'm sure.
That's not too bad.
Yeah,
17.
that could be worse.
Could have been a lot worse, yeah.
Okay, so this, from the shaman's perspective, she's just lighting this totem, restoring its fire, like murmuring a few ritual words, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, this giant bolt of lightning streaks out of the shadows and hits her in the chest and just throws her back, and she's kind of just left staggering around, smoking, like small little flames, setting fire to her clothing, and the smell of her own burned flesh in her nostrils. And she screams out as well. This is perhaps just a moment later after the one that Twig hit had cried out. Can everyone please roll some initiative? I'm going to do a couple of rolls for the orcs. So there's going to be two groups of orcs. There's going to be one that's marked by the sharpshooter, and there's going to be one that's marked by Boomer. Ugh. I'm gonna re-roll that because it's just bloody awkward if they're the same. There we go.
Suddenly, one group becomes really good at initiating.
Right, what have we got? We've got Twig. Okay. Just give me a second while I add on everyone's initiative. Who's got the higher dexterity out of Theo and Twig?
I've
I
got
got two.
3.
Was that 2 for Theo?
Yep.
Okay, I'll just bump Twig up then. When it comes to NPCs, when it's tied, I'm going to give the you guys the benefit of the doubt because you've been sneaking up on them. Who have I missed? Black Wolf.
I'm a 12.
I'm still missing somebody. Krosek. Who also got an 11. What's your dexterity?
1.
Okay, you go last out of that lot then.
I believe. Yeah, 1.
Okay, so two cries ring out, a grunt getting whacked around the head, and a shaman suddenly being blasted with a lightning bolt. The orcs suddenly kind of go into an almost military-like, like jumping to attention, grabbing their weapons. Their eyes kind of immediately look to their perimeter. You hear them sort of yelling out orders to each other in Orcish, especially from Boomer by the campfire. First to go is Garrick. You are safely hidden behind this kind of bank, a little below the tower. What would you like to do?
I will crack a shot at the sharpshooter in the tower.
Okay, cool.
aim and fire.
Okay, cool. Roll to hit with your aim bonus. He is on an elevated position to you, so he's -1 to hit.
Oh,
But your aim
only
will kind of take care of, like, balance that out, I guess. So you just roll as normal.
So you've only got like +12 today.
bad rolls.
Yeah, funnily enough though, it does still hit. Can you roll damage, please?
Do I have higher dexterity? I have 5.
Yeah, you do have. Orcs are not very dexterous,
Hmm.
so you will have that advantage against all of the people here. Just as a random aside, is that music playing for people, or is it not working?
No, it is.
It's I can hear it.
Is it okay volume-wise?
14
It's okay.
damage.
Okay, I just like to. If you don't like it, I can always get rid of it. I just like to check it's working. Okay, you do 14 damage. Okay, so you basically clip this sharpshooter in the shoulder, and he lets out kind of like a yelping noise. And the hunter woman who's kind of standing next to him just turns around and just sort of like looks at him weirdly, like, what was that noise you just made? Okay, good job. It is then the the orc's turn. So.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I yell out, like, loudly and by the authority of the Rangers, you are all under arrest.
Okay. Since you yelled that, I'm gonna have the sharpshooter sort of comes over here looking for you, and he's gonna make a perception test to try and find you. And since you yelled that out, I'm gonna use his hearing to see if he can get a kind of an idea of where you are. Hearing's not his best. He has focuses in other things. Just gonna compare that to your stealth roll from earlier. No. Okay, so he doesn't get an idea of where you are. He can, however, probably clearly see Twig, who is kind of in this, like, across the water, who is kind of like just awkwardly, in a kind of cartoon fashion, just kind of shrugging as this grunt just like glares at her for whacking him over the head.
Twig is glaring straight back. Twig is like, I am pissed.
Murder Twig.
Okay, while being pissed, unfortunately you do get hit by a sharpshooter's bullet. They are using broken tusk hunting rifles, which pack quite a punch. So let me just roll damage quickly. Uh, 12 damage minus your armor.
So I'll say 9 damage then.
The hunter, who's also on the tower, she's sort of taken a step forward around the sharpshooter, and she's noticed Krosek, given Krosek was the only one who wasn't trying to be stealthy. And she is going to line up a shot at him.
Hey, why don't you shoot an old man?
Because that old man's roughly in the direction she saw a lightning bolt come from.
Men can't shoot light.
So she hits you.
Oh god.
And does 13 points of damage.
Alright then.
What other orcs have I got in this group? The bruiser, who's been kind of looking after her wagon, has been alerted to the sounds, and she basically just kind of instinctively heads towards the prisoner pen. So she's just going to run over here. I believe that's everyone in that group. Oh, sorry, no, the shaman. She's hurt, but she's not dead. Okay, the shaman is basically going to walk forward a little bit, looking for the source of the lightning bolt that basically blasted her. She catches sight of Krosek in the distance, And she is going to answer like with light, and she's going to throw a lightning bolt at you. Because that's a spell she has. So I just roll to cast for her.
Please fail.
Oh, I believe she's failed.
That's a fail, yeah. Does anything happen because of her? She failed the stun points.
3 on her stunt is just cast as normal. So no.
Mm.
She basically just kind of like starts trying to charge up, but she's kind of... Her electrical charge is kind of weirdly messed up by the electricity she just received. So she's essentially just discharging the leftover electricity from your attack on her. And that's all the orc's done. So, Black Wolf, it is your go.
I'll do what I can in Cane Blast, but I can never remember what I have to do for that.
Accuracy roll.
Thank you.
And if you have a focus in Arcane Blast, then you get +2. You have to have drawn your focus, though, by the way. If you
My
haven't.
focus is my staff.
Okay.
I'm shooting the shaman, by the way, because I'm
I
guessing.
kind of figured. That will hit her.
And it's what damage is it? It's a 1d.
This shows how often we use Arcane Blast. Let me have a quick look. Mage. Arcane Blast does 1d6 plus willpower. Okay, so she gets blasted from the side by like just a raw blast of death magic, and that sends her staggering. She does get her armor against that though. So she is staggered by it, but like she doesn't appear to be seriously injured. Well, not any more injured than she was. You still have a minor action if you want to use it. Anything?
I'll do prepare.
Okay, what do you want to prepare?
I just want to prepare another arcane blast for next turn.
Okay, sure. Twig, it is your go. Having been clipped by a bullet, but you are still essentially dealing with this very angry orc who is kind of like looking around to like what he's going to hit you with. He has an axe that's sort of propped up against the wagon, and he kind of like looks at that like, yeah, that's probably a good thing to go for.
I'm going to use my minor to aim.
Yep.
And I'm going to use that Stormforged Dragoon I got from
Jimmy.
Was it Jimmy or was it? I was
Good
Jimmy.
old Jimmy.
It did belong to good old Jimmy, yeah. Oh no, wait,
Yeah.
sorry, it actually belonged to Claude.
No, I thought it was Claude's.
Yeah, it was Claude's. He gave it to you because he gave it up. Okay, yeah, but yeah, you can totally use that. It's a pretty deadly weapon at this range.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna aim and fire.
Is this guy gonna have any head left after this?
Yeah, roll to hit.
What do I get for aiming? It's +1.
+1 to hit, yeah. That will hit. Orcs do not have good defense.
What's the hit table for the Dragoon? Because I've not actually put it in my weapons yet.
You mean the damage?
Yeah.
It does 2d6 plus your range stat, which is perception.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll copy it into Discord for you.
I'm also going to move Dexys towards Krosek.
Okay, so you aim and you fire at this guy, and it just kind of hits him square in the chest, and he kind of like takes a step backwards. He just looks down and just kind of like chuckles, and then he looks like he's gonna go for his axe. I'm afraid it didn't do very much damage to him. Orcs being quite naturally tough. Theo, it's your go. Sorry, did you move Dexys, by the way, Tolly?
Yeah, I moved him towards Krosek.
Cool, okay. Theo.
I'll take a shot at the shaman.
Okay, cool. Roll to hit.
And I stunned it.
Yeah, you did. What would you like to do with your stunt points? You did hit, so.
Yes, one moment. Hmm, 2 points. I'll use. Let's do Mighty Plow.
Okay, yeah, cool. Roll for damage with the extra dice.
Here we go.
Yeah, that will... Oh, actually, you know what? It doesn't quite kill her.
Curtis.
She's left on 1 hit point.
Next time.
Between the Black Wolf's blast and your shot, she's just kind of like just a bloody mess, kind of staggering around in the middle of this open battlefield. But she isn't dead.
Get him.
You have a minor if you want to use it.
I'll stay here.
Okay, cool. Krosek, what would you like to do?
Oh goodness. Guys, my turn.
Tis.
Hmm. So I'm just having a look at distances. And... okay. I'm going to move forward 10 yards.
Okay.
I think it's there. And I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt at the sharpshooter.
Okay, yeah, sure. I was about to say he's on high ground, but that doesn't matter for spells, so...
Oh, I failed.
Ah. Oh dear. You
Oh.
would still have the effects of the geezers, but again, you got a 3 on your stunt dice, which is just normal spell, so you're fine. Everything's fine.
I'll
You feel
move.
fine.
I'll move straight forward a bit.
Okay, cool. Bad luck with that. It is now Dart's turn. Dart is crouching next to Garrick, behind this kind of rocky sandbank area.
Going to move up to there.
Okay. You come charging out. You see your friends. They are basically huddled on the ground. You can see that their hands are chained in manacles, which are attached to stakes dug into the ground. and they're surrounded by this high barbed wire fence, which only has one way in or out. Next to them, there's this big gunner orc, which is a particularly large, brutish-looking orc, thoroughly unpleasant sort of a person. I'm actually going to put a little picture of him into Discord because I happen to have one and I like the art. But he is basically got this massive sort of metal backpack on and a very large multi-barreled gun strapped to his arm.
Awesome.
So he looks at you with surprise, but also like lifts up this gun arm to point at you when you come into view. So that's your minor. What else would you like to do?
My major, I want to use charge
Okay,
and move
cool.
like
Charge
one
into-
square.
And attack.
Do you know? I want to move there, and then hit him with I forgot what it's called. The jagged tooth spear.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. Roll to hit. You hit and you stunt for 5.
Nice.
What do you want to do with it?
Mighty blow and pierce armor.
Okay. That will leave you with 1 if you want to do anything with the 1. But yeah, that's fine. So that would be an extra dice and well, it'll be an extra dice. It'll reduce his armor, and because it's the jagged tooth spear, you'll get extra damage, won't you?
Another dice.
Okay, that makes sense as a plan.
Yeah.
So you'll roll an extra 2 dice on top of your normal spear damage.
And because it's a two-handed spear and I'm a novice in it, I'll also push him back a square.
Oh, okay, cool. So he gets thrust back like that. Right. So basically, like I say, he's got this big this multi-barreled automatic gun thing strapped to his arm, and the barrels start to whirl and start rotating like it's powering up. But before he can do anything, Dart shoves this spear in like right into him. It punctures through his armor, and then a moment later, Dart pulls it back, and these sort of sharp teeth on this spear just basically tear open his insides. And he lets out this sort of like rather almost like squealing howl in surprise. He looks rather shocked that he could be hurt in this kind of a way. So I'll just add on his damage. And yeah, as you say, he's pushed back with the spear pointing at him, and he kind of like steps back from you warily, but with the gun trained on you. There's a very nasty bleeding wound in his side. So that's pretty good. It is then the turn of the remaining orcs, led by Boomer. This includes the big gunner, so I'm going to do him first. As I say, the barrels on his sort of gun turret that he carries around finish spooling up, and he just aims straight at Dart and opens fire. Now, this thing basically fires like a sort of massive machine gun type thing. Like, it's kind of got a rapid fire, and it's got a fairly long range. So what this means is he's basically shooting... It's like a very large, long shotgun blast. So everyone in this area, although not the people on the tower because they're higher up, are going to get hit by this. So both Dart and Longhorn Arnold are going to get hit. What's Dart's defense? Because I'm going to make 3 rolls for 3 different shots that are firing at this thing.
12.
Okay. Okay, so 2 of them hit Dart. Dart gets hit twice by bullets, and Longhorn Arnold gets hit 3 times. So I'll roll the first... Well, I'll roll all 3, but Dart will take damage from the first 2. So I'm just checking how much damage each individual bullet does. Okay. So first one, 6 minus your armor, and then again 6 minus your armor. So 6 minus your armor twice, and then you missed out on the really nasty shot. However, unfortunately, Longhorn Arnold takes these shots. He's got armor of 4, so he's going to take 2, and then 2, and then he's going to take a 6. Oh, okay. Longhorn Arnold basically just gets peppered with bullets whilst he's trying to like scramble around on the floor with his arms and legs manacled. He's takes quite a bit of damage as this machine gun just basically opens up like this burst of rapid fire, and he takes 3 bullets into his shoulder. He is bleeding quite profusely and looks quite close to death. But Dart managed to somehow survive like this short-range burst of machine gun fire, so well done for that. Who else have I got? I've now got Boomer and the Veteran. Boomer basically, actually, let's do the Veteran first. The Veteran's gonna come running up to this flagpole here. And as Ikmar described this flagpole perfectly when she said it's basically just got a very large red eye, and then around it there's like 10 little yellow eyes in a nice circle. So that's kind of a cool motif that they've got going on for some reason. And then the Veteran pulls out a pistol and shoots Dart, which hits but doesn't stunt and does some damage. So you take another 7 damage. Man, I need to hit you with harder damage. You've got crazy good armor. So 7 minus your armor.
Yep.
Then just gonna go down to the grunt that's fighting Twig, because he's in this little group of orcs as well. He sidesteps and grabs his axe, which is resting against the wagon, and just swings wildly at Twig with it.
Oh, that's a hit.
That is a hit, and he does quite a bit of damage from that, I think. Not too bad. 12 damage minus your armor. So like a glancing blow from that axe swing. Maybe just like the tip of it just kind of like cuts across her. And then we're on to Boomer. Boomer kind of, while keeping his eyes on Dart the whole time, just moves over alongside the barbed wire fence and just slashes a hole in the barbed wire fence with his axe, and then drops his axe to the ground. So he's got like a clear line of sight to those trapped inside. Then he pulls out a pistol and aims it at Smigs, the gnome, directly in front of him. And in a very loud voice that kind of booms across the whole battlefield, you hear him yell out, "Heroes of Prosperity Junction! Stand down now if you want your friends to live. I ain't gonna warn you a second time." And Dart sees him cock his pistol, like ready to fire. And that's their go. So then we're back to the beginning with Garrick.
Who was it you said that? Boomer?
Boomer. It's basically threatening to kill Smig's pistol execution style.
I'll take aim. Can I?
Do it. Do it.
I'll take aim at the gun that he's using.
Yeah, shoot his fucking hand off.
Hold on, I gotta take a call.
Sure. Okay, maybe we put Garrick on hold since Shaq needs to do that. It would be mean to do the other NPCs, so maybe we just bump Black Wolf up. since
Sure.
you're kind of the next in line. What would you like to do?
Is that shaman dead?
The
Or is she
shaman
alive?
is on 1 health. She does not look healthy. She is a bloody mess, struggling to sort of. She's like looking at the tower, like behind her, and looking like she might try and make a run for it.
Is there any way that I could cast Raise Dead on her that would kill her and so I could raise her?
No, she has to be actually dead before you can raise her.
Hmm. Alright. I shoot an arcane blast at her.
Fair enough. That hits. Roll some damage.
That's not the damage. The damage, but
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. You.
that's the damage.
I figured, unless you did something a really bad roll. Yeah. Okay. So you launch another blast at her, and just as she starts like to leg it towards the tower, you unleash this bolt of energy, and actually I won't destroy her because you might want her body, but yeah, she crumples to the floor, like the last bit of her life spent.
From a minor action, I want to prepare basically for the next my next turn to actually raise her.
Okay. Fair
But
enough.
would I get any buffs for that for when I do it?
Normally raising is a major, right?
Yeah.
So you can do it as a minor on your next turn if you're using.
All right. Yeah, I'm basically now because she's in range. Oops. Yeah, she's well within range of the spell, so I'm basically gathering up things to get ready to raise her from the dead.
Okay. Fair enough. Still got no shack.
I'm back.
We have a shack. Yay. Okay, we bumped the.
Yay.
We switched the order around a little bit while you're on the phone. But it's now your go.
Yeah.
Black Wolf just got to go ahead of you. So what would you like to do?
Okay. So, can I aim through the chain fence and stuff to Boomer's gun?
You can, if you aim. I will say, however, that you're essentially shooting through a fence past past civilians and then hitting a very specific point. So I
Yes.
would say you're probably get like a -4 to actually hit the gun through all of that accurately.
Yep. I'll take those chances.
Okay.
Hmm.
With the aim and the -4. Yes, yeah. Okay, so you fire a shot, and the pistol that's in Boomer's hand, pointed right at Smig's head, suddenly just flies out of his hand, and Boomer curses. I'm gonna say he takes like a couple of points of damage for like bloody fingers
Yeah.
where the bullet knocked the gun out of his hand.
I'll yell at,
I'm just gonna go to the toilet quickly.
if you harm a hair on their head, you're dead.
I'm guessing you yell that out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna mark where the gun goes. The gun ends up over here, but he does have other weapons. Yeah, okay, but that's good. So that's Garrick's turn. Then we go to the sharpshooter contingent of orcs. Now that you've stood up to fire and take that shot, the sharpshooter now finally can see you, so he's going to have a go at hitting you. 12, will that hit?
Nope.
Okay, he's not quite so sharp at shooting as you'd think. I'll do the hunter in a minute because Raj went AFK. So what else have we got? We got the bruiser. Yeah, the shaman's dead. So I think probably the only person that the bruiser's probably seen is probably also Crosect. I suppose realistically she could have a go at Dart. she moves up here, brings up her rifle, and tries to shoot Dart. And that's a hit. I'm not getting many stunts on my NPCs today.
I'm back.
Welcome back. And then Dart, you take, holy crap, 16 points of damage minus your armor
Holy
from
crap.
her shot.
That hurt.
It did hurt. It's almost like you ran into the middle of an enemy camp and now you're getting shot from all sides.
Hmm.
It's alright, someone can shoot and heal him while he draws all their aggro.
So, the hunter on the tower was going to keep firing at Crowset because that was her target last time, and I see no reason to deviate from that. So, she reloads her rifle and fires, but without an aim because she had to reload. And she hits. And that means that Krosik takes 14 points of damage.
Fuck me.
Ouch.
I will point out these are the broken tusk hunting rifles, which is in the rulebook as a very nice sniper rifle. These are broken tusk orcs,
Yeah.
so they're pretty good with these weapons. Okay, so that's the end of the orc's turn. It is now Twig's go. This big grunt is kind of like just screaming at you, holding the lump on his head with one hand and swinging his axe with the other.
If I aim for a specific body part,
Yeah.
like, do I have to do something extra to make that happen, or is it that part of my minor, or?
Well, you can just take the aim as a minor, and then if you hit and do your damage, it'll have it could have a particular effect, I suppose, if you went for a particular body part. What were you thinking of hitting on him?
Well, this thing's like a little hand cannon almost.
It is a hand cannon, yeah. It's good.
I want to make it so he can't hold that axe. I want to get him in like the hand or the wrist.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you use your aim action, but you don't get the aim bonus, if that makes sense. So you're getting like a
Okay.
+1 for the aim, but -1 for having to for wanting to hit him on quite a small area of his body with like his hand. So if you take the aim action and then just roll as normal, and see what you can do.
Oh, I don't know if that's gonna hit.
It will, because orcs have such bad dexterity. I did make these elite orcs, so I bumped up their stats, but I didn't up their I couldn't up their defense. So yeah, you
God.
hit. You just about hit. Roll for damage, but he basically, yeah, his wrist is shot. You basically shoot him in the wrist, and he cries out in pain, and his axe drops to the floor. Let's mark where his axe is. And he takes 13 damage.
Oh, I'm also gonna move Dexis slowly quite further into the battle.
Dexis was doing good work. You don't know what could have happened. Someone might have stealthily tried to attack Ikma. Okay, yeah, so you've disarmed that orc as well. Everyone's losing their weapons. It's very sad.
Oh, and she also yells, if you quit now, I won't maim you anymore.
The grunt just like yells out like with like blood rage fury, and he goes, "I squish you, little bug!" Sort of just takes another ineffective swing at you.
They're just sour losers from the shooting contest. That's why they do this.
This is all about the shooting contest.
Yeah.
I'm kidding,
Good.
it's not. But it would be funny if it was. It is now Theo's turn. Theo is still technically hidden behind those crystals. No one's spotted him yet.
Ah.
Do you reckon he's just going to watch for the rest?
How big are the totem wards? Can I hide behind them?
They're like maybe a couple of feet high.
Ah.
They're like shaman terms in Warcraft. Just like a little carved bit of wood.
I'll um, well, I'll shoot the sharpshooter.
Shoot the shooter.
Indeed.
Sure. So he's elevated position to you, so it's -1 to hit.
I'll aim.
Fair enough. So you just roll as normal then. And you will hit him.
And damage.
Nice. Of course, he's a tough old bastard. You can see he's already lost an eye, and he doesn't care about that. So yeah, you clip him across the arm. He's losing some blood, but he's not too seriously damaged, I'm afraid. You hear like an angry yell, and he maybe turns to face in the direction the shot came from. Chrisik, it's your turn.
Hmm. Not in a good way. I'm going to use my Chirurgy to cast. They use the action heal on myself as a minor action.
Okay.
So I need to check what heal does.
Heal. You make an intelligence healing test, and you need to make 11 on the dice.
19, and I stunted, but I don't think I can stunt on a heal action.
It's more like the stunt dice plus your intelligence is the amount of health you get back.
Okay, so I get 7 health.
So that's you like doing a bit of first aid, patching up the wound type affair.
Yeah. And then I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt on the. Is it the woman that shot me?
Heal is a major action, so I don't believe you can.
No, I've got Chirurgy, so it's a minor action for me.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Carry on then. Yeah, sure. Who do you want to lightning bolt?
It's the woman that shot me, right?
Yeah, the hunter up on the tower.
Gonna shoot her in the face.
Fair enough.
And I hit.
Well, you cast, so yes.
Yep, I've cast it.
Roll for damage.
You need to do the
Oh,
Constitution
sorry,
save.
Constitution thingamy-bob. Right. Oh wait, yeah, she has focusing Constitution. So.
Oh god damn it! That just orcs in
are
general.
tough. That's
Oh, she failed.
Orcs, but she did fail. Okay, so yeah, full damage.
Okay.
Orcs actually have some pretty great focuses, like NPC orcs, not player character orcs.
Is it 2d6 plus my willpower and damage? Sorry, I haven't memorized these spells still.
That's alright. There's no reason why you should. That's what character sheets are for.
Yeah, 2d6 plus 4. 14. Fuck you.
She gon' die.
It's got rain!
It's penetrating damage, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You've like almost half healthed her.
Good.
This
There's-
lightning bolt just like smashes into this watchtower, and like just, like chunks of broken wood just kind of like just shower everywhere, and she's basically thrown back by this sort of lightning explosion. And you just hear a lot of cursing and swearing, wild cursing in Orcish.
Does anything happen because of my 2, or...?
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
It better be something good.
Your head blows up.
No!
You know what? Something was going to happen, but like you've kind of already done it. I didn't catch it, so just say it was a normal cast. Normally something else happens on a 2, but like it's kind of weird to resolve now. So just I kind of fudged up. That's my mistake.
It was the... okay.
It wasn't anything you wanted to happen. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
But it would be
Fine.
awkward to kind of resolve it now. So we'll just say
Sure.
it was
No worries.
it was actually a 3, and you cast as normal. It's now Dart's turn. Dart, you are surrounded
Hmm.
by enemies, but you're also the only thing that's protecting your friends. What do you want to do?
Gonna move up there slightly,
Okay.
and then I'm going to hit the big gunner again.
Okay, cool. Roll to hit. That will hit.
Oh, no stun points.
No stun points now.
He does have some sort of armor, doesn't he?
He has quite good armor,
Yeah.
yeah. But you do a glancing blow to him, like stab him in the shoulder a bit, does a bit of damage. Okay, then it is the orc's turn. You have positioned him quite well though, in terms of what the big gunner can and can't do. The gunner is now in the awkward position that if he opens fire, he would undoubtedly hurt his allies. So instead, he's going to improvise an attack. Like he's basically just going to lift up like the sort of. He's got a blade that's attached to his gun. He's just going to try and like wildly take a stab at you with that, but it's very much an improvised attack. He does have some fairly good natural fighting skills. He's just not quite as good as normal. 14 will hit.
Stay in there.
He stabbed you for 5, which with your armor is almost nothing. And then he just curses and sort of sidesteps and sort of pulls back from you. Who else have we got? The Bruiser's gonna sort of try to flank you and attack you with her axe. So she hits and does... Ooh, 18 points of
Wow.
damage. Minus your armor. Orcs are good with axes.
Indeed. Ow.
Such a cliche. Okay.
The veteran stays where he's already kind of got a pistol in his hand, so he's just going to stay where he is, aim, and then fire at you as well.
I need better armor.
Okay, but I don't think that hits you.
No, that's a miss.
Okay, he sucks. Veteran is like an affectionate nickname. He actually just joined the crew like a couple of months ago. But then we come to Boomer. Having had his gun knocked out of his hand, he reaches down and grabs his axe from the ground. And I'm gonna say, like, that's his sort of major to pick his axe back up, but then he's basically moves into the prison pen and holds his axe high over Longhorn Arnold, and he yells out, "Don't think I'm bluffing. I'll be eating steak tonight if you don't surrender now."
Definitely bluffing.
It is now Blackwolf's turn. I'm just going to stick with a slightly modified order because I think that's
Oh, isn't
easier.
the grunt supposed to have gone?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about old Grunt. Yes, it's very sporting
Not
of
that
you.
you can do a lot. He's missing a hand then.
He is missing a hand. He tries to punch you with his good hand.
He's got +4 for his unarmed combat.
He has 4 fighting skill.
Bloody hell.
Does
And
he have
he's
any
back.
bow hunting skills?
Any what, sorry?
Oh, never mind. There's a Napoleon Dynamite reference.
Right. He has nunchuck skills.
Oh, nice.
So I'm guessing that hits, and it'll be an improvised attack damage, so... It's like 7. And you get your
Bloody hell, that's still lots. Okay, it's not too bad with the armor actually.
Good old armor. What would we do about it? Okay, so now it's Black Wolf's turn. And you can raise dead for a minor action instead of your major because of the preparations you made last turn.
It succeeds.
Yeah, it does. Okay, I take it you were casting it on the Shaman.
Yeah.
So let me put her under your control. If I can. Okay, so she now is essentially, yeah, a zombie under your control. Can you move her?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so you still have your major.
What I can... If I shout, can the dude hear me?
What, Boomer in the centre
Yeah.
of the camp? Yes. The only person who might not hear you is the grunt, because he's quite far away.
Can I shout to him, you might as well surrender now. You know what we're capable of? And what do you want me to roll to try and convince him?
Oh, okay. Communication, persuasion, I guess. Fortunately, your voice doesn't carry very well. Like, he only maybe hears, like, a bit of the sentence, and he just hears, like, surrender now! And he thinks maybe you're offering to surrender, and he grins.
God damn it.
Sorry about that.
Ooh! Oh! I got a 6 on my... when I cast the spell.
Oh, you did? Right, okay. That would normally give you extra damage. I guess...
Does it give me extra duration on the zombie?
I was going to say it can make a more powerful zombie.
Okay, I'll go with the more powerful zombie.
Let me just quickly have a... What is her normal stats? She's normally a Walking Dead. Okay, instead of doing 1d6 plus 2 damage, I'm going to say she does 2d6 plus 4 damage, which is what a Spectre does, which is kind of like the next undead creature up. So I'll just stick it in Discord. She's got a 3d6 plus 4 attack and a 2d6 plus 4 damage. Okay, so yeah, she's basically risen. Whereas normally when you raise zombies, they're kind of like pretty pathetic and shambling. Like, she's basically herself, just like freshly risen and under your control. But otherwise, she's got the skills and fighting of almost as good as if she was alive.
Also, does my arcane blast count towards the energy, or is that just... are we just ignoring that?
No, that's just like a shooting attack.
Alright.
Uh,
My turn's done.
yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, Garrick, it's your turn.
Well, I'll aim at his at Boomer's hand this time. Wrist. I'll try to blow his hand off.
Okay, same thing as before. You've got to like aim at a specific body area, and you're shooting through a barbed wire fence from a distance. So yeah, it's -4 to hit, but you are welcome to try. Damn it. Okay. So you then shoot him in the wrist as he's got this axe held high, and then that falls out of his hand as well and lands behind him.
We're doing very well at disarming today.
You're doing some really good range disarming.
3 shots.
Roll for damage, please. You basically shot
Yep.
his hand off.
Two orcs called Grumpy and Stumpy.
Bloody hell.
Didn't just take off the hand, took off the entire arm.
Yeah, he basically just like you blasted off his forearm and hand, so everything from below his elbow is just not there.
Mangled mess.
He's slowly chipping him down.
That's pretty brutal.
Nothing left soon.
Okay, then it's the sharpshooter crew of orcs. The sharpshooter was last shot by Theo, and that got his attention, so he's going to try and do a perception seeing test to see Theo
Oh,
from his hiding position. He has a perception seeing focus, so he should do quite well.
Can I just ask, are they worried about the risen shaman?
Yeah, they probably are. Well, they don't necessarily know that she's risen. You know what I mean? Like, they've just seen her sort of like get back up. So, until they actually see her up close, I'm gonna say they don't know she's hostile. So the sharpshooter can't see you, so he just reloads his weapon. The hunter reloads a weapon and carries on firing at Krosek, because she doesn't like
God damn
it,
it.
because he blasted her with lightning.
More where that comes from, bitch.
He hits, or she hits, and 12 damage. Who else is in that group? The shaman's dead. Oh, that's kind of it. I think technically the bruiser was in that group, but I've reassigned us, so I'm going to stick with it. Twig, it's your go.
I might as well just keep going with the gun. I've taken 2 shots. I've got 2 more until I have to reload.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna aim and fire again. Not gonna aim for anywhere specific.
Just aim for the bonus and fire.
Yeah.
Sure, go for it. That'll hit. So roll for damage, please. Okay, it's another kind of like winging him shot. But he's looking pretty bloody. I'm going to say at this point, because there's been a lot of kerfuffle and shots being fired near this horse, the horse finally loses its nerve and basically tries to pull away with this wagon, so it's sort of like starting to move and turn itself, but obviously it's hitched to the wagon so it can only move slowly. But it's basically trying to pull away in a frenzy, trying to get away from all these shots being fired and axes being swung and yelling going on.
Dexys has made it to Krosek.
Good job, Texas.
Twig yells
Texas provide first aid.
That'd be so good. He can't. If I was a better engineer, he could do that bulwark thing, but he's not there yet. I'm not a better engineer. Twig yells at the grunt like, "If you stop now, you can still live. This doesn't have to be your death."
Okay. Again, do you want to make a communication persuasion check?
Just fucking finish him off.
Okay, I'm going to do an opposed roll against his willpower. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You've persuaded him. So the grunt kind of like stops with his like frenzied attacks on you. He looks at like his bloody stump of a hand, and like the fight kind of just goes out of him, and yeah, his head kind of drops down, and he goes down onto one knee, and he goes, "Tiny one, you have bested me in combat. I, Narg of the Broken Tusks, surrender to you."
Nog.
He needs to have his name changed to, what was it, Narg?
That's what his name is.
I'm just gonna be like, just stay out of the way, and like try to make sure that stump doesn't make you bleed to death.
You are wise, tiny one.
And from now you will be known as Stumpy.
Narg to stump.
Just think of the cool hook hand he can get. Maybe we should call him Abu. And he's called Narg the Stumpy one.
I think that was all of your go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, it was fairly good. Good job. Theo, what would you like to do? You are still undetectable behind your crystal hiding place.
Aha! I take another sneaky shot at the sharpshooter.
Okay, you're probably just driving him nuts at this point. But yeah, same deal. So he's -1 to hit because he's higher up.
Yeah, and I aim.
Yeah, okay. Dan, you hit.
9 damage.
Ooh, okay. Again, another wing shot. You're just kind of like just taking like little chunks out of him.
Yep.
Just
And then the
annoying.
hype again.
Death by 1,000 cuts. There's a lot of blood on the floor of this like observation tower. Krosek, it is your go.
I'm going to cast heal on myself again.
The
Just the
action.
minor.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, minor.
Okay. So
Trying
doubles
to-
11.
I'm trying to remember what my. I'm sorry.
Intelligence, healing. Okay, so you
Four.
get 4
8.
plus your challenges back. So yeah, that's not so bad. You keep patching up those holes they put in you. And-
Imagine I'm using like a bit of Saurian magic and just being a bit sneaky.
Sure.
I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt on her face again.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I'll just roll her Constitution test. She gets 15.
That's a pass, yeah.
Okay. It's not so bad.
7 damage.
Penetrating.
Yes.
Okay, so another lightning blast kind of hits the tower shakes. It kind of almost like wobbles a bit.
Oh,
like
it's a. I
Oh,
rolled a
also-
6.
Oh, you also rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, roll another d6 of damage.
Yeah.
Man, sorry, I made this rule and then I forgot about it. Thank you
Oh.
for pointing it out. She takes another 1 point of damage. That was like a splinter from the exploding wood that just caught her.
Yeah. It's in her thumb and it's really annoying.
But the tower is looking quite battered from all these lightning bolts and shots being fired at it, and it's kind of almost looking like it might nearly topple over. Dart, it is your go. You're still surrounded by enemies.
A glorious battle.
I don't think it's going to get much better. I'm going to look at what minor actions I can do. I'm going to aim and then hit the one above me.
Okay, sure. You hit. See what damage you can do.
also want to push her back as well.
Oh yeah, she goes back 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of like just stab her in the arm and push her back, and she kind of like staggers backwards. But she's not too badly damaged, and she looks pretty angry with you. It is now the turn of the orcs. Let's do these quickly. Bruiser basically charges back into you and swings her axe. She hits and she stunts. She's gonna go for a blow.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh man. Dark getting wrecked.
Dart's doing some great tanking. But he does 22 minus your armor.
Shit.
You're okay, you're not quite dead.
Yeah. I'm not quite dead. Just gotta do maths.
You can, if you click on the little green circle for your health, you can also put minus an amount in. So you can do like minus 18 and it'll work it out for you.
That's very convenient.
It is convenient for knowing just how close to death you are.
Oh, I'm stupid place.
The veteran, while that's happening, the veteran's is caught sight of Garrick and just jumps down this bank and fires off his pistol at Garrick, trying to deal with him. 14 hit? What's your defense?
Nope, I got 15.
Damn. Okay, this veteran sucks. He throws his pistol into the water and like he'll choose a new weapon next turn because he's really sucking with that pistol. And he yells out across the water to Narg because, "Why do you not finish the tiny one and help?" And Narg just yells out, "I am defeated."
Nog has found peace with Tiny One.
Right.
Twig makes the best friends.
Yeah.
Boomer cursing and just staring in disbelief at like the bloody stump below his elbow, like retreats, grabbing his axe from the ground on the way. And as he runs out the way, he yells out an order to the big gunner, "Kill the prisoners! Do it now!" And the big gunner lifts up his kind of big gun arm, and the barrels revolve, and he opens fire on the 3 prisoners in the pen.
No.
It's okay, we can res them.
As zombies.
Yeah, but we have to res them in 2 turns.
Fuck
Unless
the
you have
rules.
the special revive spell.
Which I have.
Yeah, but doesn't that work like only on dying creatures? If they're
no.
dead,
There's
we
an
can't revive them.
instant revive. Like, there's a revive healy thing, and then there's a bringing people back from the dead thing.
I've got the bring people back from the dead thing.
Right, so he's hit all of them. He's also... 2 of them are stunting for 4. He's gonna... Like, stunts are individual because it's like a shotgun. Basically, he's gonna do mighty blows on Longhorn and Jesse. So let me just
On the
do
one hand,
some rolls.
poor prisoners. On the other hand, at least it's not me.
Yeah, Dart is in trouble. I'm gonna say that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically opened fire on the whole prison area, and Arnold, Smigs, and Jesse all scream out for a moment, and then it's just suddenly silenced.
That's pretty brutal.
Asshole.
And just the sounds of, like, he just keeps firing shots into their bodies until, like, the barrels kind of, like, overheat, and he has to, like, stop firing and let them cool down. It is now Black Wolf's turn. Black Wolf's sense of death is suddenly massively heightened, and she's aware that, like, there have been 3 more casualties.
I'm trying to work out. Can I? What do I do with the ghoul?
You can move it and attack with it like it's a pet, so it can move as part of your move action, but if you want it to do a major action like an attack, that's kind of your major action done. So basically you can both move, but only one of you can attack.
So I'm going to move it like.
Can you get it to pull the tower down on top of itself?
Ooh, good idea.
I'll deal with those 2.
But it can't because it can only move to that.
Surely, could it sprint into the tower?
Move and then charge.
Yeah, move the ghoul and then charge the tower.
You can technically do that.
Well, I'll do that then.
Okay, so this zombie shaman that you've raised, like, starts just like slowly lumbering towards the tower and starts to pick up speed as it goes. And on top of the tower, the two orcs are like yelling, "Yes, sister, come quickly, escape while you can. We'll cover you." And then one of them turns to the other and goes, "Why is she not stopping?" And the shaman just tears through the barbed wire, not caring about the fact that it's basically just tearing her flesh apart, and slams into one of the main log supports that holds the tower up. And it splinters and cracks, and there's this terrible groaning noise as the tower finally loses its last sort of proper support and just sort of starts to collapse in on itself. And the
Nice
whole
one.
thing just crumples down, and the last thing you see is the sharpshooter and the hunter just screaming, "Why?" as the whole thing kind of tumbles down in an enormous mess.
Are they dead?
They are all dead, including the zombie
Yeah.
shaman who
Alright.
got buried under the rubble.
Now, can I move after doing that?
Yeah, you can move as part of the same action that she moved with.
God damn it, I accidentally closed my.
There's this big pile of rubble where they were, where that tower has collapsed. I think, to be fair, also kind of in the interest of time, like, most of the orcs are defeated, and their towers just come, like, smashing down. Boomer doesn't have an arm. The big gunner's out of ammo. The veteran can't hit anything and threw his gun away. Narg has surrendered. I think at this point, Boomer basically calls out, "Enough! Enough! Please, do what you want with me, but spare my men. They were just following my orders." And
I'm gonna execute Boomer.
No, not yet.
I was so ready to like destroy Big Gunner
Yeah.
on my next
fucking
turn.
lightning bolt in the head.
Also, what I would say is, as he says that, I say, "Can we revive the people who are dead?" And I also say,
Yeah, we can.
I also say to Boomer, "You're an idiot."
Oh, you
Secret.
silly
Ah.
Billy.
Fine, I'm gonna revive the people. I assume I have unlimited magics.
Oh,
you do
yeah.
while you're around for the in the effect of the Aether Gazer.
Oh yeah, so we can heal everyone to full quite
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah, but if we fuck up and roll ones on our stun dice, it might be bad. So you have to be
What is it
careful.
using to bring them back? Is it
Revival.
revival? Oh yeah, dying. Yeah, because they did die pretty recently. So fair enough.
Yeah, I'll use that as well.
It's one failed. Can I just keep rolling? Or
You can
I have
cast
unlimited
it
mana.
once. No, but you can only cast it once for each. If it doesn't take, it doesn't take.
okay.
Theo can also do the same.
That mine was on
Sounds
long. That first one was on Longhorn.
Okay, yeah, please call out the rest.
This one's on Jesse. So Jesse, it works.
Okay, so Jesse comes back to life, and you rolled a 4 on your stunt dice, which is normal casting, so that all worked fine.
Okay. 10 plus
Also,
their
4
Constitution.
fours. He
Yes, you also
Oh,
use
yeah.
spell stunt, although I'm not quite sure if there's many uses of spell stunt in this instance.
Just give us some extra health if that's okay. Or...
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
no, actually, I'll take a +2 on my next revival.
Oh yeah, that's probably wise. Okay, so
So I failed Longhorn. Jesse's back, and then I'll try on Smigs.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very much alive again.
he is super alive. So
And he's
alive,
stunted
alive.
again.
I'll take another +2 on my next roll.
Okay, I'll just mark you with an inspiration. Okay, Theo can also have a go if he wishes.
Yeah.
Arnold, why?
Who's this on?
Arnold.
Okay, well then, Arnold comes back to life. They're all pretty strung out, but they're strung out, by the way. They're not like particularly healthy. They're very disorientated and bloody, and there's still like
At least they're not dead.
holes in them. But they are technically breathing and just about conscious. Apart from Smigs, who you stunted on and like is just like fine and just kind of like is almost slightly drunk but healthy and can almost get to his feet.
Let's heal them up as well.
How much trouble am I going to get in if I execute the big gunner? Because
Don't do it yet.
he
we
did
need
kill
to-
a bunch
Well-
of prisoners.
We
Yeah,
should
we
also probably ask like who it was who. Well, he's obviously the
Uh,
leader,
Yeah,
Well,
but I
no,
want to know
Boomer's
who
the
shot
leader.
Igma.
I thought Boomer was the leader.
Boomer
yeah.
is the leader, yeah. But we need some
Yeah.
evidence that links. Well, actually, we do have the flag, so whatever. We can kill
The
him.
flag. Whatever. Yeah, fuck it. I think we have authority. Okay, who killed Igma?
Or attacked it,
Ignorance
anyway.
of dead.
Who attacked Igma? Yeah,
Asking them.
I'm asking them. Yeah.
The sort of surviving orcs kind of look between each other, but then Boomer steps forward and goes, "I shot the native."
Can I check if he's bluffing?
Yeah, sure. Make a perception test.
Okay. Is it no, it's actually perception, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
No, fuck,
also,
I've got no idea.
While this is going on, can I like start arranging the bodies?
Yes, sure. You did say you were going to do some stuff. Yeah, so maybe you can drag some of these bodies out from the rubble you caused with your suicide zombie.
I've got no idea.
Yeah, Grosik has no idea, but you know, he seems to be saying words. They may be true.
Oh God, I was tempted to like say I'm going to paralyze him from the waist down, but that's a bit dark.
As dark as Puck murder.
Not that dark. That's like twisted.
Oh no, it's gonna get dark. Don't you worry.
What does Twig think?
Also,
What
before
about
we-
paralyzing him from the waist down?
Shall we heal darts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
fine.
Right,
We either
You
execute
can
him
you can heal
or
me,
we-
but it's gonna take a while.
We've got
You got
unlimited
unlimited
mana.
mana.
Oh, okay.
We could just keep healing this guy, zapping him, healing him, zapping him. I think that does kind of torture.
To make
Yeah,
it
we
easier for
just-
you.
We'll just execute him if we do something to him.
Twig.
Find out.
Not gonna paralyze him or
Shaq, are you the?
execute him.
You're the lawman, right?
Yes.
You're saying to execute him.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm totally up to shooting him.
I'm down 52 health points, by the way.
Well, you got 11.
Given
Twig,
that they
sorry,
do
what?
have unlimited mana, it's not unreasonable to say that they just do a period of extended healing on you.
Awesome.
we are just
Pretty much.
full health and mana then.
Like,
Pretty
much
now
on
we're out of
everyone.
the combat situation. I mean, not much actually happened with the spell effects as it turned out, but like, I think you can safely cast when you're like being careful and taking your time.
We might as well heal everyone.
Yeah, I've just assumed that I heal everyone. So
By
there's-
everyone, I'm guessing you don't mean the orcs.
I'm not
What
going to
about
heal the
Nog?
orcs, no. But Nog, I'll seal his wound. Nog surrendered honorably after an epic battle with.
Are we taking him along with us, along with all the others?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, maybe
Definitely.
he gets the chance to rehabilitate himself.
He's
He
running
showed-
a little like criminal rehabilitation program out here on the
Definitely.
frontier.
That's what we say. And then we execute his friends.
We could
Twig
raise up
Twig
our group
flies
of-
up to Boomer anyway, and like just sort of looks him in the eye, and she's like sort of got tears streaming down her face, and she's like, "We thought you were our friends. Like, why would you do this?"
Boomer just looks down at the ground shamefully and just goes, "The money was too good. 11-Eye Jake offered us a fortune if we claimed the land for him. We just had to wait until the expedition found something worthwhile."
Right, should we give him the option he helps us fight Jake or he dies here tonight? Because extra hands and fight. Like, he's probably going to die fighting Jake anyway, right? That guy's insane.
Boomer
Yes.
says
I'm more interested
Boomer
in
says
him.
that he'd rather die. I ain't gonna fight Jake. That guy's out of his mind. And if you ever tried fighting a Watcher, they're scary. No, you can kill me right here. Just let my men go.
We go
You
away.
don't have to fight Jake. We can use you to testify against him. And we'll handle the fighting.
Also, I mentioned to him, you know, these guys killed the god.
I mean, Jake is pretty intense. I think he would be harder to kill than that saurian half-dead zombie god.
Probably.
Also, I asked him if any of the Vagans were killed. If he killed any Vagans.
He tells you we drove most of them off. Took a few shots at them. I can't say if they made it, but most of them took off in wagons and headed south. See, we didn't try to kill everyone. We tried to drive people away.
I'll heal the orcs up too.
All the orcs.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm back.
Will it take a strength test for me to pull the flag out of the ground and chuck it in the fire?
Yeah, that will be strength might for you. It's a large object for Twig. But I'm gonna say she has a +2 because I think she's suitably enraged.
Twig has reached her enraged point.
Rage, Twig. Yes, so Twig, like, this is a big flag. It's not just like a little thing, it's like a sort of a 6-foot flag with 11-Eye Jake's symbol on it. But Twig just sort of reaches down to where it's kind of stuck in the ground, and she wraps her arms and her whole body around it, and she starts flapping her wings furiously, and like gets all red in the face, and then the whole flag just comes up, and she's basically just soaring through the air, flying with it, and then with this like mighty shout, she just like throws it down onto the fire, and it lands there and quickly begins to burn.
Before sort of like sitting on the floor and just like weeping because she's really upset about all the people who have lost their lives in this whole matter.
So, what do we do with these orcs now?
Is it when we get back to the Prosperity Junction, is it justifiable for us to go arrest 11-eyed Jake now that we have witnessed his cronies killing ATC employees here?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, from your understanding of the law, yes. Like, if you had their witness testimony, then
Are they?
yes.
Okay. We'll guys. We can let you guys leave if you testify against your boss.
You're still going to go to
Yes.
jail, but we'll let you
Yes,
live.
Of course.
Okay,
Of course.
Narg steps forward.
That's the only way you can live. Otherwise, we will execute you right here.
Yeah, Narg steps forward and walks up to Garrick and says, Narg will testify. Narg owes a debt to Tiny One, and it
Can
will
Nog
be
say the word
repaid.
testify? Nog will testify.
Good.
The Gunner and the Bruiser say they'll testify as well. Boomer refuses.
Okay.
Alright,
Have it your way.
let's fucking do it.
I'll pull out my pistol.
Should we push him into the gazer?
Nah, we'll just shoot him in the head. Frontier style.
Fuck. This is murder.
It's justice.
Murder.
Still, is it? Oh, is he technically a ranger?
He is a ranger, yeah.
Can he do this? Is this?
Yes, this is frontier justice.
I'll
Fuck.
shoot him in the head. Right between the eyes.
As long as Garrick does it, it's legal. If we do it, it's not legal.
Okay,
Well,
Garrick basically puts his gun right up to
I cover
Boomer's
Twig's
face.
eyes.
Boom. Boomer's last words were, I got stupid, the money was too good, please forgive me. And then Garrick pulls the trigger. and-
Before I shoot him, I'll say, your men will live, and I'll shoot him.
Okay. You blow his face off, and
Fuck.
his body just slumps to the ground with a thud.
Oh.
And on that note...
Can I just do quickly get his body?
Oh yeah, sorry, you do your ritual, and then I'm going to have to call an end to the session for tonight. But, yes, Black Wolf, what would you like to do with the bodies?
It's basically, I'm just sacrificing them to my god, or their souls. Instead of, like, up until now, everyone's seen Black Wolf, like, spiriting them onto, souls onto the afterlife. The souls of these ones, she send into her death god as payment, or as a little punishment to them.
Okay, cool, so what does this ritual look like?
It's basically just it would be them in the bodies, and it's like it would be them set up in a specific pattern. Then she, ignites each one of them with death magic. Her death magic.
Sure.
You would ignite each one of them, do some rituals, and then basically you would just see them disappear as they are sucked into the maw of the Vagan Death God, who is a woman, by the way, and her twin is the Life God.
Cool. Okay, so, yeah, the bodies of the shaman, the hunter, the sharpshooter, and of Boomer, now he's been executed, are all, given as payment to your death god. You guys all watch this.
See, I told you it was going to
Twig
get
isn't
darker.
watching. Twig's staring into the fire.
Yeah, Krosek was covering Twig's eyes.
And yeah, we will leave things there for tonight. Well done on dealing with that.
Bringing some justice. Fucking hell, though.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
For the people who go, I mean, they did obviously kill a bunch of our wagon, and fucking hell.
Yeah, but he was never going to forgive Garrick after that can shooting contest, so it was probably
Garrett's fault.
It's the only
cheat them
way,
out of some money
Garrick.
and like upset them all.
They could have had another shooting contest, and then at the last touch, like one, Garrick could have turned around and just shot him in the head.
Well, they kind of did have.
Oh yeah, Garrick won. Yeah. Fuck.
Actually, they didn't really think about like not engaging Garrick in a fucking gunfight. I mean, for real, like
It's a
he's
bit
so
dumb.
accurate. And they've seen that.
Well, I guess we've got to go and deal with 11-eyed Jake now.
Well, I think we have to go to the caravan first.
That is the caravan's all dead.
No, it's
No,
not.
they were driven
It's
off.
not?
They were driven off.
Oh,
south.
did most of them get? Okay.
Some of them got away. It's unclear how many at this point.
We are also like several days, weeks away.
You are.
Hmm.
You've been. I mean, it's been several weeks since you left Prosperity Junction. It would take you at least that to get back.
Fuck. Also,
We'll have to drive onwards.
I'm sure we've heard about Big Bertha before.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
probably
what the Skullfist dude mention it?
I can't remember.
Does
We found it in
Smith
that
know
book
something
today.
about it.
I'm sure we
Operation
knew.
Big Bertha sounds like
Oh, like a
some-
train.
Well, not good, but
Was it a big
Yes, we
drill?
did. It was in the journal.
yeah, in the journal.
Bill's
Yeah.
journal, page 1.
Yeah, Bill's journal from the Chupacabra caves.
Oh yeah.
Good deductive skills there, Tickle.
I knew we'd mentioned it somewhere, so I just looked in the pages.
Operation Big Bertha. So it's probably a group of people? It's just a big woman called Bertha.
Well, it says the ACC off balance until Big Bertha is in place, and the Shattered Plains belong to Reinhold.
Hmm. Well, I was not expecting the execution.
I was
Mm.
looking forward to it.
I'm just going to cry myself to sleep.
A little surprised I didn't go down in the end there.
Yeah, you clung on. Although I was
Some
also
epic tanking, I will say.
Yeah, good aggro.
compared to my little like one-on-one shootout with Narg, like
Everything that you get involved in, Tolly, just ends in you making friends with someone.
because that's what Twig does.
She
She'd
fights
rather
with
avoid
friendship.
the loss of life if she can.
You just stand there trying to hug them whilst they beat on you until they give in.
I just
It's
like
on like the pacifist route.
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to head off in a minute, guys. Well done. I really enjoyed that. I have two pieces of good news. The first is that after this adventure, you have all leveled up. So
Yay.
welcome to level 6. You have a week to think about what you're going to do in your next level. I'm also pleased to announce that by executing Boomer, Garrick's campaign goal of apprehending and dealing with a serious criminal has been completed. So Garrick will get an extra bonus for having completed his campaign goal.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
He's a murderer. Yay.
no, he's not.
Murderer.
He's an executioner. There's a
Same
difference.
thing.
There's a book somewhere that says he can do it.
Okay, justifies it.
But yeah, good stuff, guys. I will go now, but talk soon. If you have any
Bye.
questions about leveling up, your options, stuff like that, just send me a PM on Discord.
I think this is the level that I get to name an object, so it does something better.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kill.
Level 6.
What's
Same.
the campaign goal bonus?
Sorry?
What's the campaign goal bonus?
I will work that out and give you details in the next day or
Cool.
two. Because I figured like some of this stuff I was going to wait and see how people completed them, so it's not like it's fixed necessarily.
Mhm.
But I will let you know. Right, okay. Later, dudes.
boy.
Boy.